ESPN Upstate. Hello to you, and how do you do, you good-looking group of people? I am Rob Brown. Directly across the glass from me, the great one, Colonel Grudge, #DadKicks, the pinnacle of professionalism, the alpha and the omega of ESPN Upstate, the conductor of the symphony of sound that is the Rob Brown Show, every day from noon to 3, right here on ESPN Upstate. He is Lonzo. What up, Zoe?
I was going to say, I'm shocked that the glass isn't more dirty than it is, but it's starting to work its way. You say across from the glass, if you look.
It really is.
Yeah, it's starting to work.
Really? I really wish you waited until after the show to point that out to me.
Because now you're going to start drawing stuff.
Oh, God, it's so gross now. It's not just that it's gross, it's that I know what all those spots are. Like, I know where that's coming from. Some of it's dust. Most of it's not. Oh, Lonzo. Oh, I wish you would have said that literally never to me.
I am viewing that you through food particles. It's awesome. You know what? I'll leave an email to Diesel and have him clean it.
No need. I'm cleaning it myself in the first break. In the first break, I'm going to find a Windex and a mop.
And you know what's the cool part about this? You'll find out if he really does or not if you're watching on the stream. But you'll be able to see him
it's so gross.
Actually cleaning it.
I can't stop staring at it now. It's so gross.
But it's proof that it's protecting us from each other.
Working, even though we sit 3 feet away from each other in the office.
No, there's 6 feet in the office. There is.
Oh, I really wish.
Since we lost our other 10.
Question: is it all on my side? All right. First off, it expands all the way over here, so it's not all that.
I just see. I think it's dust. You go worst case scenario there.
I always go worst case scenario.
I think it's dust.
I am the worst case scenario.
The cleaning crew does a good job, but where the glass position, they'd actually have to get up on the board to do it, and they're not really supposed to do that. So.
I'm the dude that when the boss rings the phone, hey, can you come down to my office for a minute? He can say it the most happy. Hey, Rob, you kill it, man. Come on down to my office for a second. My brain goes, well, it's been a good run here in Greenville.
Or as it's done right here, hey, stop by when you're done.
Stop by when you've got a minute.
It's always stop by.
Yeah.
I love those texts.
Oh, yeah.
I really do. I'm going to put my hand over my phone so I don't see one.
We got a busy day today. I have to tell you, I have to forego the lunch breakdown today. And I have to forego the lunch breakdown. If Rob had a fedora, he'd be a Panama Jack commercial today. You're not wrong, Keegan. Go to the Facebook stream, facebook.com/ESPN Upstate. I've got my neon green flamingo shirt on today. I don't know, turquoise, aquamarine. What color is this? Aquamarine, right?
Yeah, it's periwinkle.
No.
Without a doubt, it's periwinkle.
Texter says ESPN Rob spittle on the glass from Elix. Yes, that was why I was disgusted by it, Texter, because that's what a lot of it is. But
you don't know that for sure.
You have 2 options, listener. You can have option number 1, which is the Rob Brown Show presented by NPR. NPR and the Rob Brown Show, encouraging your new nap daily. Or option number 2 is you can have the show nominated for the best sports radio talk show in the state of South Carolina for 2021.
Hey, you know what that reminds me? We got something going on tomorrow night.
We do. Dear Columbia, I'm coming. On the way. We will be in Columbia, South Carolina tomorrow. Hopefully, fingers crossed, picking up some hardware.
We might make the marquee, but not in a negative way like some other show.
Here's what I'm going to say. You don't need to text me tomorrow night and go, Rob, did you win? You don't need to tweet me to go, Rob, did you win? Because if Lonzo and I win this award, every social media connection that I have is just going to be absolutely blasted with a picture of me and Zoe holding the trophy. If we don't win, today will be the last day you hear about it until next year. That is how it's going to go. I'm not saying I'm a sore loser. I'm just saying if I don't win, I have no reason to talk about it.
And it's, I can't believe I'm saying this. So if we don't win, just to open my mouth a little bit, if we don't win, and someone asks you a question about it one day, you're just going to ignore the question.
I'm gonna be like, what award? What are you talking? What nomination for what? Did we get nominated for something? We were nominated for something.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I didn't want to get mentioned again.
I don't even know why you're thinking of worst case scenarios because
We just talked about this. It's always the worst case scenario with me. Now, in a best case scenario, I have to forego the lunch breakdown today for one reason, and one reason alone. And I have to forego the lunch breakdown because I have a huge thank you to Chris and Tony over in engineering, because Lonzo, your boy, finally has a new computer. You know what they came in there and they said today? I have been on the verge of asking for a new computer since we got back to the studio, but I've been like this. The engineering guys are slammed, right? Everybody's made their way back after a year. They've got request after request after request after request of people. I need this done, I need that done, I need this moved, I need this unplugged, blah, 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 blah. And I felt bad about asking. I didn't want to ask for the new computer. Chris comes in there today. Captain America, Chris, having fun.
all that comes from the music side because the talk side, we never do this sort of things. We
definitely.
with no lessons.
Yeah,
nothing. We try to work through it. That's what we do.
Exactly. And on top of that, when something does need fixed, 90% of the time we just do it our damn selves. But I don't know where to get a new computer, so I had to ask. Chris walks in, he goes, click, 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 click. He goes, oh, dude, you should have asked for a new computer 2 years ago. My computer was running Windows 6, Lonzo.
No, it wasn't.
Windows 6.
It was not.
Go ask Captain America Chris Evans down the hall.
I didn't even know there was a Windows 6.
I'm assuming that it's a real thing.
Are you sure?
That's what he said. Or maybe it was 7.
7, yes.
Maybe it was 7.
6, I remember where our computers had 7. 6, I don't know.
No, I guess it wasn't a 6. So it must have been 7. Either way.
How's that for some nerd knowledge? Thank you.
Well done. Well done. He comes in, he's like, hey, you should ask for that. But the point is, I couldn't get the lunch. So the lunch breakdown, I do most of my show prep the night before, right? I do most of my show prep last night for today's show. But the lunch breakdown is the last thing I do before I come in here because I wanted to do the top 3 stories that are going on right now in sports when we get to lunch. I had no computer today.
You know, we still could have done the lunch breakdown and tell people what to eat for lunch.
The lunch breakdown. Barbecue.
Hamburgers,
pulled pork,
pizza,
hot dogs without chili on them.
Wings, yo.
Instead, I did want to talk about this. Lonzo, if you did not watch at least the opening of the Field of Dreams match last night, dude, you missed out on TV greatness. I'm not talking sports. I'm not talking baseball. You missed out on television greatness. It was genuinely for me. And we talked about it on the way out, right? I'm not like Field of Dreams is a good movie, but it is not the best baseball movie.
Yeah. So after that discussion, are you surprised that I didn't watch? Plus, I'm helping someone in the process of moving.
You are. You have dad duties.
Yeah. So I was doing that. I did watch football though. So, but still, I mean, you know.
So they opened the broadcast out in the cornfield in center.
How many times do you think Costner got lost and someone had to go, hey, Kevin, go this way. Kevin, this way.
Kevin Costner walks out of the center field cornfield into the stadium. The crowd loses its mind. Camera guy not doing exactly a great job not getting seen in the corner. But hey, whatever.
Yeah, because he's the guy that helped Costner
find his way. Yeah. So Costner walks out of the field carrying the first pitch ball. He just kind of walks through center field. And it's just this cool moment, man. Like he genuinely, I mean, he's in character from his character in Field of Dreams.
Can I, and I shouldn't do this, but you know, when you reach a certain age, don't wear a shirt that tight. That's all I'm saying. Things tend to droop when you get older.
The lady friend made sure that I knew when we were watching this that she would still do dirty things with Kevin Costner today. So I can't hate on the guy. Kevin Costner could steal my girlfriend today.
From what I understood, that kind of happened quite often with Costner. So.
Well, you know. So he walks out. He's got his classic Kevin Costner look on his face as he walks out to the middle of the field. And then there was this really cool moment, which I didn't know how they were going to do it. I assumed they were going to do something like this, but I didn't know how they were going to do it. They had a break in the fence out in center field. The camera kind of spins around Costner He looks out towards the old school scoreboard, which it's a great look. And then they have the representatives from the White Sox and the Yankees walk out from the cornfield just like they did in the movie. And I know these guys aren't actors, but dude, it was cool. It was cool to see because they quite literally just appeared out of the cornfield. Like they weren't there, and then they were just there coming out of the corn. They all walked slowly out to the infield, and then so they played a hell of a baseball game. I mean, I'm glad it worked out. Arguably the best baseball game of Major League Baseball so far this season. 9-8 Chicago White Sox win on a bottom of the ninth walk-off 2-run home run, 4 home runs apiece for both the Yankees and the White Sox. Dude, Lonzo, forget the baseball game. I have to give Major League Baseball a round of applause because this was television freaking magic last night.
Can you do it again, though? You've already did it once.
That's it. You got to be done with this. You got to be done with this premise. To have Costner out there in character, to have the teams and the umpires come out of the cornfield, and dude, like you kind of knew they were going to do it, but when those first 6 players walked out, 3 Chicago guys, 3 New York guys, when those first 6 players walked out and they started walking up and shaking Costner's hand on the infield, so I'm not going to lie, dude. Goosebumps. So I said Field of Dreams isn't the best baseball movie. I didn't say it was a damn fine movie.
Well, it's a good movie.
It's a great movie.
I hate being cynical. By the way, everything was good. I wonder if that corn is real. Did they just plant it right before the?
No, it's real. They literally built it in a cornfield. The real Field of Dreams field is over here.
Okay.
It's right next door to it.
Okay.
Right?
And the other thing is, those players shaking Kevin Costner's hand, how many of them know who he is?
The majority of them were not alive when Field of Dreams came out.
Yeah.
All right. But if you are a baseball fan, you've watched Field of Dreams. I don't care how old you are. If you're a baseball fan, you've watched Field of Dreams. So you have these guys coming over, shaking Costner's hands as they line up along first to second and second to third. And like I said, man, I will tell you that I kind of had this moment because I remember watching Field of Dreams with my old man. You know what? Let me do this if you don't mind, Lonzo. Let me get the sound turned on to this computer if I can, because then Costner took to a microphone.
I am just cautioning on this, but I will do it.
It's Kevin Costner on a mic on Fox. Okay. Is that on me?
Yeah.
Okay, hang on. Nope. 6, 1, 2. Where is it coming from?
You need to mute me.
Check. There you go. That's it.
Remember, I can't do it over here right now because it's not logged in.
Not logged in.
So,
that's right.
Yeah,
that's right. Now I have responsibility.
But hey, I just want to point out troubleshooting on the air, and we figured it out.
All right. So Kevin Costner took to the microphone to give a little pregame speech, and I loved it. Here's what Costner said.
Good afternoon. "30 years ago, 30. On the other side of that corn, we filmed a movie that stood the test of time. Tonight, thanks to that enduring impact that little movie had, it's allowed us to come here again. But now, we're on a field that Major League Baseball made. We've come to see the first place White Sox. Play the mighty Yankees in a field that was once corn. It's perfect. We've kept our promise. Major League Baseball has kept its promise. The dream's still alive. There's probably just one question to answer. Is this heaven? I don't think I heard you. Is this heaven? Yes, it is.
So there's
This
what.
this field.
No, you let it go. I forgot he had more. That's fine. So that's what Costner opened with. And I got to tell you, man, I remember watching that movie as a kid with the old man. I remember watching that movie as a kid with the Madre and the little brother as a fam. I've seen it. I don't even know how many times since then. And I know it was just a baseball game, right? Like I know it was just a baseball game. I know it was just a game. I know it was, in the grand scheme of things, one of 181 other games that are going to get played by these teams in different stadiums around the country. Lonzo, last night, and I know that this is something that is really only going to matter to somebody who went into that game already having a love for baseball, already having a passion for baseball. But I went into that game last night with a passion for baseball that was immediately renewed. That game, congratulations to Major League Baseball. Congratulations to Fox, who put that on. Congratulations to Joe Buck, who was spectacular in that game as a play-by-play guy. He doesn't get enough credit. That game, I hope this doesn't come across as over dramatic or exaggerative. It is easy with so much baseball, even if it's just at the major league level. It is easy to kind of start taking baseball as a sport that is just, once a week there's a Braves game on and I watch the last 3 innings. It is easy to forget how beautiful of a sport it is. It is easy to forget how baseball, I would argue, maybe more than any other sport, baseball is the connection we all have as Americans. We all play baseball growing up. Some of us play soccer, some play baseball, or some play football, some wrestle, whatever. But almost, not everybody, but the majority of Americans in their youth, they play youth baseball. They play baseball. And for most of us, it's the first sport that we play as a team. And it is easy with so much of it to lose sight of the greatness and the beauty in that game. If you missed the Field of Dreams presentation last night, and if you have any love in your heart for that sport, the opening to that game will freaking get you. And it did for me. We watched it. And then when I went to bed last night, as I'm scrolling through Twitter to see what's going on before I pass out, somebody tweets out the opening to that game again. And I watched it probably 10 more times before I went to bed. It sparked and renewed a love of baseball that I've always had. But like I said, it gets very, very easy to forget our love for that game because there's so much of it. They did it last night. It was spectacular. So if you missed it, go find somewhere to watch it, or at least go watch the first 8-9 minutes of it. It's on YouTube, and it is worth it. It was movie magic. It really was. We all have those moments of movie magic that we look from our favorite movies, whatever it is. We all have our favorite bit of movie magic, that scene that happened. The first time the camera swung around the Avengers as they circled up in New York. We all have that moment. The first time that the hero swings into battle after getting his power back. We all have that moment. Last night, if you were a sports fan, was a bit of movie magic brought into a real game. Bravo MLB. Bravo Fox. And by the way, good on the White Sox and the Yankees for playing a hell of a baseball game. Yankees score 4 in the 8th, take the lead in the top of the 9th on a home run, White Sox come back and get a 2-run dinger in the bottom of the ninth to walk it off. They could not have scripted a better game for a movie magic moment for Major League Baseball. Good on everybody involved, man. It was great. All right, 844-477-3776, 844-GSP-ESPN. Text us. The Ingles Market text line is open, 71307. Start your text with ESPN so we can read it on the air. Texter says, ESPN, come on, fellas, let's not crash the ship right before your big day tomorrow. I think we'll be all right. I think we got this.
Does this have something to do with the audio?
Yeah, it did.
Okay.
Yeah, it did.
All right.
Yeah, it did. All right, quick break. We're back after this. Rob Alonso, this is ESPN Upstate.
QC Kinetics.
That's right. Our friends at QC Kinetics want you to be able to live your life pain-free. I got to tell you, I played a round of golf yesterday. Got out there with the boys, swung the sticks a little bit. Up until we started working with QC Kinetics, I got to tell you, I was always afraid of playing golf in my mid-30s because it doesn't kill me. But usually the next day there's that back. I mean, listen, man, when you slam the ball like John Daly, you got to put some torque on the knees and the back. And as you get older, when that tissue, that connective tissue that keeps
presents the Sports Flash on ESPN Upstate. NFL preseason action on Thursday night. The New England Patriots with a 22.
Hey, look at that. We've gotten to the point where our show name populates on.
Good for you.
No, us. Yeah, my buddy Red sends us that. Focus. Yeah, the name pops up on the radio now. How about it?
No sour grapes here, but my name used to be on things when they would show up. So,
I don't know who's in charge of this decision.
No, I'm just saying.
I will ask them to add your name to it.
No, you don't need to do that, and they won't. So
Yeah, they would.
No, they won't.
Why not? It's type it into a computer. Whose decision is that? Is that engineering? Big dog? Gotcha.
Admittedly, the first time you see it, it is really, really cool.
It is really cool. I've never.
Yes, it
that's
is.
yeah.
That's why I don't want to downplay how cool it is for you because it's awesome. It really is. Did that just now start happening? Because that should have been happening for a while. Just maybe someone.
As far as anybody said about it.
Yeah. The really cool thing is when you're on vacation and you just happen to turn on the show and see your name,
Your own name on it. Yeah.
while you're in the car. It seems more real that way for some reason. I don't know why. Just like every time I hear a promo that I put together, I make everyone in the car be quiet. If I put my hand up while we're driving, they know
Yeah.
what it is.
My favorite is,
'Cause-
especially
'cause-
if it's a promo I know well, is if there's somebody in the car, I'll turn it up just a little bit, not like announce it, but up a little bit. And then if I can, I'll try to start saying what I'm saying in the promo to see if they catch on to it.
Yeah, I've foregone some of that stuff just because I know you're not into it. So, because
Dude, you can bring it up,
no, it's all right.
especially if it's the classics.
It will be brought up in Twitter.
Okay.
So
Well, I mean, yeah. Well, I know why for that one.
I don't know if you do or not. We'll see.
Friday the 13th, man.
No, that's not why it's trending. It is, but it's not. Just wait.
The Rob Brown Show rolls on. It is ESPN Upstate. I gotta tell you, there's it's a good week. All right, it's a good week. Not only will Lonzo and I be tomorrow in Columbia, South Carolina. By the way, I've now been told that not only is our boss going to be there, but the big boss is going to be there too. So now Rob's got to be on his best behavior to work function.
No, you don't, because well, I just want to help you out here because 2 years ago, and I've told the
Is
story
this
about.
an open bar event?
I believe it might possibly be. I don't know why you would throw that in with the bosses coming though, because that's implying something that
This
that's
was more along the Rob's got to be on his best behavior part than the bosses will be there part.
yeah. But remember, 2 years ago, I dressed up as a mime, and the whole deal was to make sure I sat on Chris and I sat on either side of the big boss, so he would have no one to talk to the entire time, which we did and pulled off for the entire evening. So. What I'm saying is you're in a room full of radio and TV. Well, not so much the TV people. They don't know what a bit is, but the radio people do. So you're fine. I mean, don't fall face down as you go. Unless you trip, which
Stanley
could
Cup
happen.
it, drop it, and shatter it coming off the stage.
There
I'm not gonna
is
do that.
there is a cup that big. ESPN is not up for it, but our sister station.
Wait.
No.
What's that award for?
Let me finish. WRD is up for Station of the Year, which
Station of the Year.
and you got to wonder back in the day when the Stanley Cup first started, like the bottom of it before they started adding
Yeah.
rings. That's how big this thing is,
Okay.
and it's extremely heavy, and there are diminutive people who cannot carry it.
So I am going to be recruited to.
No.
Sure, you're on that
Yeah,
station.
I got
That's your
this.
job.
Last time we won it, I had to carry it all over the place because other people struggled. I mean, whereas, the diminutive people would take two of them to carry it. It only takes one of me. So, there's that. And good luck them trying to put it over their head, which, of course, I will do if we win it. But yeah, there is. Just wait. Hopefully you get a chance to hold it tomorrow because it's there's actually one down in the lobby. I'll show it to you later. Someday ESPN will get
no,
there.
that's what I was
ESPN
gonna
Upstate
say.
someday. But to aspire to something,
We
you
have
actually
to claim
yeah.
a show.
Well, we're going to do that.
We have to now. So Offsides has gotten two of those or one of those.
Offside's only gotten one.
Our side's got one. The show before mine got one. So
No.
we
No, actually, ESPN Upstate has won this award every single year since its inception,
okay.
which has been 5 years.
And that's over the stations in Charleston,
Right.
in
Yes.
Columbia, in Clemson.
And we would have had a shot at it last year, but there wasn't one last year.
Right.
So we're working on our 6th year, if I am correct.
Perfect.
So, but yeah, this should be relabeled the ESPN Upstate.
Upstate Award, yeah.
Yes, it should.
I feel like if we win,
I'm not trying to. I mean,
if we can put a streak of 10 of these together, by definition, we get that cup, right? Like best station. How do you have best sports talk show for a decade running and not end up with best station award?
Oh, I completely agree. I completely agree. But generally, it's been a news talk station that wins it.
Shocking.
Yeah.
Shocking.
Hey, man, that's not me.
Oh, that's all right. I ain't mad at you.
But since
I'm
I'm
just
on,
saying, I'm coming for you.
since I'm on both stations, I'm good.
You know how there's the You know how there's a talk within the SEC where the SEC fans, like, they'll all chant SEC, but then when it's SEC football rivalry season, they'll all talk terrible smack about each other.
Absolutely.
But then if the Big Ten jumps in, they're like, well, hold up, you can't mess with us. That's me and ORD right now. I'm like, dude, respect you guys. You guys have built a juggernaut over there. But also from inside the conference, I'm coming for you.
Well, I don't blame you. I'm completely there with you. But
You win either way. So
yeah, that's really what it comes down to.
All right, we got a lot of stuff we need to get to on the show today. Obviously, we had some football last night. We'll get some. Let's say. I'll tell you what. Let's run to a break. Enough about us. Let's talk about football, shall we?
There's never enough about us, but okay.
Enough about us. Let's talk about football. We come back just a moment from now. We are going to talk about NFL legend Joe Flacco, ladies and gentlemen, back in the news. We've all been on Flacco Watch 2021.
Super Bowl champion.
That would be the one.
Yeah.
That'd be the one, boys. Washington, New England last night, Pittsburgh, Philadelphia. Give you some thoughts on that. Get a look ahead at the preseason matchups tonight and through the weekend. All that more coming up on the Rob Brown Show and ESPN Upstate. Do you have one here?
No, we're good.
Okay. How long's the break here?
3 minutes.
Do you need a new roof or think you do? I'd like to talk to you. My name is Paul Campbell, and I've been fixing and replacing roofs in the upstate for over 15 years. If you have questions about the condition of your roof or possible storm damage, call me and I will personally come out and check your roof and give you an honest assessment and a fair price. Call me today at 864-346-3121. That's 864-346-3121. Or find me at rooferpaul.com. That's rooferpaul.com.
Welcome to AutoZone. Having some starting trouble? We can help you out. Let's start with a free battery test. If you just need a charge, we can help with that too. And if you need a new battery, we've got a wide selection of replacement batteries, starting at just $79.99. And we're the only place you can find proven tough Duralast batteries, including Duralast Platinum with AGM and EFB technology. That's why we're America's #1 battery destination. Claimed based on data from the NPD Group 2020.
It's like I blinked and suddenly all my business shifted to e-commerce.
Now my business hours are whenever my customers need me.
My customers want everything now and faster than ever. It's a whole different world. Your business is changing. The United States Postal Service is changing with it. We're bringing you fast, reliable shipping nationwide, and we're bringing it right when your customers need it. Let's discover new routes. Visit USPS.com/new routes. The United States Postal Service. Priority you.
According to research, 82% of people remember radio ads.
All right. Everything's done over there.
Listening.
Huzzah.
All right. So the Stanley Cup might have been a little bit of an exaggeration, but
Okay, that is nowhere near the Stanley Cup. But the best part of that,
go downstairs.
so
Go down. Yes, it's
it's a decent size. It's a decent sized trophy.
It
and
probably-
looks like a heavy base.
it probably weighs. Yeah.
Take a
The
picture to the stream, man. The stream deserves.
all right. Here it is next to someone who's short.
But go back to the other one and show the stream. They deserve that version of Lonzo in their life. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you.
You know what I'll do? I'll just share it.
Get us started, then put it on the air. Listen, it's preseason and it doesn't mean all that much, especially considering Steven Montez was your passing leader for the Washington football team last night. Mac Jones getting some time going for the New England Patriots, 13 of 19, 87 yards in that game last night. Mac Jones looked good. Mac Jones looked good. I had to tell you, Lonzo, I have been intrigued by the Patriots. And I think you said it, and I agreed with you. I think Cam Newton is due for a bounce back year. I really do.
See, everyone's talking about Mac Jones today. They're not talking about, aside from one Chase Young big time tackle.
Who, by the way, is a stud.
It's Chase Young.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and he's only going to get better in the NFL. He had a great season last year. He's going to look good and do good this year. Sorry, I had to touch my t-shirt for some reason. And I thought Cam looked really good. And you notice one thing, and this is probably what they're going to do anyway. There's a lot of running. They got a pretty good stable of running backs. But Mac Jones looked good, but who was he playing against? I think people want to write Cam off right away and say, "Oh, look how good Mac Jones looked," and don't want to talk about Cam Newton. And then Mac Jones playing against the vanilla defense because they're not going to play they're playing base defenses, they're playing base offenses. He did look pretty poised. He absolutely did. But he hasn't seen the full speed of the NFL. Can he handle that? I don't know. Maybe he can. Alabama's pretty good. So, I mean, but I don't know.
Cam 4-7 for 49 yards. Shared the field with Ron Rivera for the first time since they were in Carolina back in 2019 when the two of them walked.
Also, real quick, Cam never ran the ball once.
No, he didn't.
And we know, even though injuries and everything, defenses still have to be ready for that.
So here's what I'm intrigued by. Remember, last year when Cam was putting out, and I know they're cliche, and I know a lot of people are kind of like about him, whatever. When Cam was putting out those workout videos last year, Cam looked like he was in the best shape of his life. And last year, pre-COVID, when Cam was out there running the football, Cam Newton looked like Cam Newton. Looked like the guy we expected number 2 to be. Then he got the Rona. He was out I think he was out like 3 weeks. And he himself said multiple times that he had the mental fog. He had the kind of the haziness that we've heard a lot of people talk about. And said he didn't really feel like he was able to bounce back from that. Which might very well be the case, right? Might very well be the case. If he is past that, if he has bounced back from that, then I expect, and Lonzo's right, I expect him to run the ball. The Patriots are not going to have Cam Newton run the ball in a preseason game. They're not going to have him running the ball against, by the way, especially with a starter, against the starting 7 of the Washington football team up front. It's not going to happen. So you're not like, here, it's preseason, man. Like, this is one of those things that even if a cat goes out and is absolutely stellar, right? You don't want to say, here he is, the second coming. This is the second coming of Cam Newton. Look at, like I mentioned, look at Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco got $178 in his debut last night.
Hey, where does Joe Flacco play now?
Poor guy. He's Joe Flacco. Oh, man. Dwayne Haskins, by the way, 16 of 22. How about $161 and a touch for the young man, though? Dwayne Haskins had himself a night last night.
Supposedly taking things a little more seriously now after being
I'd
cut
hope so.
last,
I'd hope so.
Yeah.
My man said, ain't no sin go to the script club. He Pac-Man Jones'd it. And then he found out, ain't no sin go to the script club, but the coaches don't like it in the midst of the Rona.
He's got a fight on his hands, but he has the opportunity to be number 2 for Pittsburgh and maybe the heir apparent.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, listen, Dwayne Haskins is supposed to be a big deal, man. He was supposed to be a big deal. And, I don't know about you, Zoe. I've worked with people before. Heck, I, in some cases, have been the dude. Lonzo, sometimes you just got to have somebody break one off in your rear end before you go, I got to get my life together. The Rock said, I'll turn it sideways and shove it straight up your.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I
That's
guess
what I'm talking about. So that you got to break one off, right? You got to put boots to butt sometimes to get a guy to realize,
yeah, that's never happened to me.
I'm running out of chances. I better get it together. I better figure it out, eh? Dwayne Haskins getting cut unceremoniously, by the way, from the Washington football team. My dude's got one shot left. Because if he fails in Pittsburgh, he's done. But the good news, as Lonzo just pointed out, is if Dwayne Haskins gets his head screwed on the right way in Pittsburgh, I think this is it for Ben, right? Like this is the last ride of Roethlisberger. I think he's done after this year,
Yeah.
unless they win a Super Bowl, which, by the way, they might.
You think so? I just hope he makes
Tough
it through
division.
through the whole season. You want to see someone, especially if you believe it's their last year, being able to stay upright the entire time.
Ben Roethlisberger is probably done. And the Steelers don't have the next guy yet. They haven't drafted the replacement, the heir apparent. Dwayne Haskins might be that guy if his head. Now, the question is, do you trust him? Do you trust him? I got to tell you, it wasn't like the Script Club adventure for Dwayne Haskins was his first transgression in Washington. It was the last. It was the latest. Do you think that getting unceremoniously cut in the middle of the week and the only thing the franchise had to say about you was, we hope he grows up. Good luck, Dwayne.
Do they have strip clubs in Pittsburgh? I don't know.
They got Script Clubs everywhere.
Do they?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You know, there are only 2 businesses in America that have never had a reception. You know what they are?
Recession.
Sorry, what I say?
Reception.
I got my mind on Saturday. What do you want? You know, there are only 2 businesses in America that have never had a recession. You know what they are?
Prostitution and strip clubs.
Porn and booze.
Okay.
Porn and booze. Only 2 never had a recession. Even in Prohibition.
I don't know. Yeah. Prohibition, that's kind of a
Kinda not
recession.
their- yeah, but they were still selling speakeasies. All right. Dwayne Haskins.
I'll tell you, I went to college where prohibition started.
Boo.
Yes.
Boo.
Like it bothered me.
Boo.
It was still drunk. Fraternity brothers brought in 4 kegs for parties. every
Yeah.
day.
Let my people booze. Yeah, this is it. This is Dwayne's last shot. I gotta tell you, last night, Zoe, he looked like he had it down. He looked like he was expected to look. But, and I guess this is the interesting part. It is preseason, right? Like it's preseason football. You want to take into account what they did. You want to take into account what happened. You want to address and give credit for what happened. But at the end of the day, you're right. It's preseason ball. You're going up against vanilla. You're going up against defenses that don't want to show the hand. You're going up against defenses that are figuring it out. That's kind of where they were. But Joe Flacco deserves a hand. 10 of 17, 178 and a touch. Dwayne Haskins, 16 of 22 and a touch as well. Now, Ryan Fitzpatrick, short night in his debut for Washington, played just 2 series before Rivera went to Taylor Heineke. Fitzpatrick made the most of his limited work, 5 of 8, 58, a 22-yard pass to Terry McLaurin, the second play of the game, a 24-yarder to Logan Thomas during the second series. Heineke went 9 of 15 for 86. Peyton Barber, a 1-yard touchdown run in the second quarter. Here's the shot, Zoe. Ryan Fitzpatrick is a starting caliber quarterback. Taylor Heineke was arguably the golden boy of the NFL last year, right? Washington had some issues at the quarterback position. Heineke stepped in. Nobody knew the name Heineke before he took to the field.
Well,
And then all of a sudden he played pretty well.
Some of us knew him because he played for the Panthers for a little while. But
You
here,
know what I mean?
here's the thing, though. I thought he looked really good last night too.
He did look good.
He did.
He did look good.
If I were so when Fitzpatrick comes out, wins 5 games, and then suddenly can't play anymore, it probably will be Heineke.
Yeah, everybody says that. Keep in mind, last year when Fitzy got pulled for Tua, the majority of us were like, "Yo, yeah, what now? You do what now? What?"
See, that's easy to figure out. So Miami thought we're going to put him in there, and so Tua can see how it's done and everything. But it's Fitzpatrick; he's not going to do that good. So it'd be easy to
Except he did.
it'd be easy to replace him, and then suddenly he's winning everything. And like, oh no,
Yeah, but Tua was like not as good as Fitzpatrick.
you're missing. So the thing, they thought that Fitzpatrick would not be that good, so it'd
Right.
be easy to bench him
Oh, you
and
think
bring
they
Tua.
brought him in to buy Tua a few weeks
Yes.
to see NFL defense.
Yeah, and
Okay.
then
then
instead.
averaging like a 90 QBR per game. It's not great.
And probably after week 2, they're like, next week he'll be
He'll
him.
blow it eventually.
Next week he'll be him. Oh crap, he's not going to be him. If we don't do this now, it's really going to look bad.
They asked him yesterday what his thoughts were when he got the news that he was being benched for Tua. He said, quote, "At first I thought it was a joke. We're putting Tua in. I was floored." Yeah, you know who else felt like that? Everybody watching the Dolphins. Everybody. I gotta tell you, Tua Tagovailoa, I like Tua. He's a good dude.
I thought he was
The second coming of
no. I thought there was an overreaction because what he came in and did in the championship game. But before he won the game for him, he also threw an interception.
Yeah.
I thought people were just like they wanted someone other than Hurts, and there's the guy. And I didn't think he was nearly as good as everyone was making him out to be.
Yeah, I'm not a. Tua is one of those cases. I like Tua as a dude. I like him as a guy, but I don't love him as a quarterback. I don't think he's. I just don't think he's an NFL quarterback. I think he's a hell of an athlete. I think he's very gifted, but I don't think the game that he played in college translates to the NFL. I think Tua was one of those guys that was carried by being in the midst of a damn fine Alabama squad, right? Like the majority of Alabama quarterbacks. The majority of Alabama quarterbacks over the past 10 years have been carried around by a lot of very, very good skill position players. They get to the league and they're okay. Like they're okay. I think Tua's next in line. Mac Jones is the first guy that I think Mac Jones is the first guy I think coming to Alabama that I look at and go, yeah, this guy actually might be it. Mac Jones might be the guy. He just carries himself different. But to go back to the first game we talked about, like I mentioned, my dude Cam's due for a comeback, I think. I believe that. I think he's still got it. I think he's shown it. I hope he's over the COVID fuzz by now, which he said last year, the COVID fuzz got me. I hope he's over the fuzz by now. If that dude is, Bill Belichick will know how to use him, how to plug him in. 844-477-3776, 844-GSP, ESPN. Coming up tonight in preseason NFL football, 7 o'clock, we got a pair of games for you. Tennessee and Atlanta. At 7 o'clock, Buffalo is at Detroit. And then your 10 o'clock nightcap, Dallas v. Arizona. We'll give you some thoughts on those. Of course, Carolina's first preseason game is going to be the only game on Sunday, by the way. Only game on Sunday, Carolina at Indy at 1 o'clock. On Saturday, Miami is at Chicago at 1, at 4, Denver's at Minnesota, Cleveland at Jacksonville, and New Orleans at Baltimore. On Saturday night, New York is at New York at 7:30. That'll be Jets at Giants. The Bengals down at Tampa at 7:30. 8 o'clock, Houston's at Green Bay. 8:30, Kansas City's at San Francisco. Seattle is at Vegas at 9, and at 10 p.m. our nightcap, LA v. LA. We got a New York battle and an LA battle coming up on Saturday. Let's take a break, come back, wrap up hour 1. Rob Alonzo, this is ESPN Upstate.
Prisma.
Our friends at Prisma Health, the official healthcare provider of both the the Clemson Tigers and the Carolina Gamecocks. And they should be the official healthcare provider for you and your family as well. Why? Because they make your health their number one priority. I got the opportunity right after I moved here to work with Prisma for the first time because, well, you know what? I got here and I needed a doctor. That's how being a person works, right? So I got here and I needed a doctor who would put my healthcare at the priority. And when I got into I asked a handful of people, hey, where should I go? I need to find a primary healthcare physician. And everybody said, go to Prisma. Talk to Prisma. Why? Well, because they have 2,400 plus doctors in their healthcare facilities. That means there's going to be one for you. They have facilities located all around the mid-state and the upstate and the Midlands. There's going to be a Prisma Health store somewhere, facility somewhere close to you. And they were spot on. Not only have I found my doctor, not only do I know exactly where I need to go and it's convenient to my house, but on top of all of that, every time I see my doctor and every time I have to go to Prisma, when I walk in, they know who I am. They know what's been going on. They know exactly where I stand. It's great. I use them. You should too. Go to prismahealth.org, prismahealth.org to learn more. It's our friends at Prisma Health right here in the upstate.
It's funny. Someone is saying that Vince McMahon secretly owns AEW.
Twitter loves a conspiracy theory.
See, I posted a picture. It's immediately being made fun of, but that's fine. Thanks, Keegan.
What picture? The one you showed me earlier?
Yes.
Why don't you make fun of that? That picture's great.
I'm not going to ruin what he posted as it's actually pretty funny, but you're being accused of being a Dolphins fan, by the way, because of what you're wearing.
These are flamingos. I mean, I'm not going to move the camera, but they're literally flamingos. Okay. All right. In fairness, Keegan's tweet is freaking hilarious.
No, I'm not going to say it's not. I got accused of going there as a member of Big and Rich.
Spot on.
I got accused of going there. Someone asked me about Clockwork Orange. There were several things, and to all of them, I said yes. So, I mean, you know.
That is hilarious.
I also believe in hiding in plain sight. If everyone's looking at what I'm wearing, they're not looking at me. So, I mean, it's a shy tactic. It works really well. Now it makes you wonder, what am I wearing tomorrow? Tomorrow I'm going as a grandpa. No one will know it's me. I'm wondering if, and no offense to the guy really, but there's a guy who wears a really bad toupee that's there every year. So I'm just pointing this out to you now because you can't not look at it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the wrong color and it looks like a tribble like died on his head. You have to be a Star Trek fan to know what I'm talking about. That's what it looks like. And I swear, if you look at it the right way, the thing moves. And I could be wrong, but he has been there every year. So he's from downstate, somewhere else.
Wrapping up hour number one of the Rob Brown Show right here on ESPN Upstate. Rob Alonso and you, 844-477-3776. 844-GSP-ESPN is the number. to come on the air with us. Coming up in the next hour of the show, I've been going back and forth about doing this, and I think we're going to go ahead and go for it today. Ladies and gentlemen, hour number 2 of the show is going to be a get to know your host hour. I have not done this. I think I did it once right after I moved here, so it's been over a year. I do it about once a year. We're going to do a get to know your host and producer. I asked Lonzo if he wanted in on this, and he said he was willing to brave the wilds.
Yeah, I can't wait because there's things about you that I don't know. So I may have a question or two.
Let's go. Coming up in the next hour of the show, depending on how you got, if you want to take it into the third, we'll see. You guys can ask me on the phone line, on the text line, on the Twitter, anything you want to ask me. No questions are out of bounds. And I will answer those questions as honestly as I can, without threatening myself with an FCC or criminal violation. All right? I don't think I have anything that would impact it that dramatically.
Well, obviously that's a possibility, or you wouldn't have brought it up. Now I'm intrigued.
Like Fernando Tatis, I am covering all the bases, man. That's what's happening here. So coming up in the next hour of the show, it is a get to know your host hour. You may ask Lonzo and I any question that you want. No questions are out of bounds. You can ask any questions that you like. Lonzo and I will answer them as honestly as we can without threatening ourselves with fines and or lawsuits. So, get your questions there. Get your questions ready. Get your questions together. Anything you want to ask. Hour number 2 is a get to know your host hour. Coming up next on the Rob Brown Show. I'm Rob. He's Lonzo. And this is ESPN Upstate. First 2 questions are in. Rob, do you think you are a better musician than you really are? True or false? You think you are a much better musician than you really are?
Is this from a Florida number?
No, it's an 864 number.
Oh, okay.
Let me see if it's one of my 864 numbers. It is not. I don't know who this person is.
Harley in the first break.
Alrighty.
Milwaukee pounded the Cubs 17-4. Download the free Score app. Lightning fast updates so you never miss a thing. It's why the Score app is one of North America's most popular sports apps. That's your Sports Flash. I'm Chuck Sanders on ESPN Upstate.
I let Tim hear the Roger rewind because he wanted to hear it. He got half the references, so he thought it was pretty funny. I don't think he knew.
There was a Dumb and Dumber reference in there.
It wasn't.
No, not Dumb and Dumber.
It was Ace Ventura.
Ace Ventura Pet Detective.
But there's also a Mr. Ed stuff. I knew you wouldn't get that. You probably didn't even get the Mr. Ed stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Did you? Okay.
Yeah.
He didn't get the Lone Ranger reference.
Idaho
which
Silver
was
away.
Pretty sad.
Yeah, I didn't get that. I got them all, man.
No, I said he, not you.
He didn't. I thought you said I didn't.
I know the demo is pretty wide though, so I can.
Oh, okay. I may be regretting. Here are questions that have come in. Rob, you think you are a much better musician than you really are? True or false? Rob, ESPN, what's your first concert? ESPN, for both of you, if you weren't in radio, what would be your preferred career? We're good so far.
Yeah.
Rob, who is your preferred producer, Lonzo or Diesel? I understand if you can't answer this one. And Rob, who hates Mark more, Rob or Zoe? And be honest, y'all both know you've wanted to kill him.
Well, I'm willing to answer all those myself.
I'm not going to shy away. I made a promise to the people.
I just want you to know, if you pick Diesel, it
outta
will
here.
bother me.
All right, I may or may not regret doing this. So far, I'm leaning towards I will. But for this hour of the show, and depending on how it goes, maybe the next hour of the show, though we do have Fanboy Friday coming up in the 2 o'clock hour, Lonzo and I will be participating in what we call Get to Know Your Host Friday. I do this about once a year, and you will see why coming up in a minute. I did this, I want to say, like 3 weeks after I got the job and started doing the show from here in the great upstate of South Carolina. And I have not done it since then. It's been a little over a year now. So why not? Get to Know Your Host Friday. Here's how this works. You guys can call in, text in, Twitter and Facebook in, whatever you want to do, with any question that you want to ask Lonzo, me, or both of us. Anything you want, everything's on the table, and we will answer them honestly. We will answer them honestly. It may cause hurt feelings. It may cause some sort of deathmatch challenge between shows, between talent, between some of us, but we will answer these shows as honestly, or these questions as honestly as we can. You can call in with your question to 844-GSP-ESPN, 844-477-3776. You can text into the show on the Ingles Market text line at 71307, 71307. Start your text with ESPN so we can read it on the air, 71307. Or you can tweet into the show at The Rob Brown Show or at Lonzo on Word. If you're going to tweet a question to one of us, please tweet them to our personal handle, at The Rob Brown Show for me, at Lonzo on Word for Zoe. Here are the questions that we have gotten in so far. All right. I will accept that some of them are softballs. Some of them are delicate. We'll just start with that. Here we go, Lonzo. Some of the questions we have gotten in so far. At ESPN, do you, scratch that. It's a true or false answer. You think you are a much better musician than you really are. True or false? I'll let you start, Lonzo.
I think that was directed at you, but
It was, but we're both answering it.
But because I am a retired musician, no, I don't. I know how bad I am.
Yeah.
If you've ever seen someone play a keyboard / piano with a hammer, that's me.
The answer to that, the question is phrased, you think you are a much better musician than you really are. True or false? The answer is false. I'm as good as I think I am. I just don't think I'm very good. Y'all, I am the rhythm guitarist and backup vocalist in an 80s cover band that only plays dive bars. And when we do play big venues, they're just bigger dive bars. All right? I don't think I'm that good. In fact...
Wow, if we ever played together, it'd be like, man, I did horrible. No, you did better than me. No, I did horrible. No, you did better than me.
The name of our band is Humility.
Well, I was going to use a word against people and go with the name of the band as Eeyore.
No,
We only
I'm
do
not that good.
emo ballads. That's it.
All emo, but it's all like Alkaline Trio. No, I'm not very good. I'm not. In fact, you'll find that like I have an acoustic guitar that hangs on the wall, and I don't even play it that often because I'm just not that good. At ESPN, what is your first concert? It's a great question. First concert that I vividly remember. All right. And I don't know if I went to any when I was younger. I know I went to some smaller ones when I was younger. But the first major concert I remember going to was Martina McBride opening for Garth Brooks. That day, I fell in love with Martina McBride, like in actual physical love with Martina McBride. And I have been in love with Martina McBride ever since. Martina McBride is you know how we all have not all, some of us have the list, the list. If you're in a relationship, you have the list, which is the 3 people you're allowed to cheat on the spouse with, and they can't get mad at you for it. Martina McBride pretty much is my list. Have been in love with her ever since. And then Garth Brooks put on the first and greatest concert in my life. It was unbelievable. It was the concert that he came up, and some of you have seen the video. He came up out of the white piano singing the Red Strokes, and then the stage kind of turned red as he did it. Lonzo Martina opening for Garth Brooks was my first concert.
All right. So I got to tell you, some of my answers are probably going to be either boring compared to Rob's, or you're going to go, who? But I need some clarification. Do you consider a vocal group a concert?
I consider a concert a concert.
Okay. So my first concert was the Imperials.
The Imperials?
Yes. When Russ Taff was singing with them. It's a Christian group.
That's why I don't know.
Yes.
Because I'm a heathen.
Yes.
Courtesy of the text line.
Satanist / atheist.
Courtesy of the text line. Thank you so much, you jerks.
It was a good concert, by the way. It was the first time I saw a fog.
Like a cappella?
No. They had a band backing them.
Gotcha. Okay.
But it's the first time I've ever seen a fog machine. I've seen it on TV, but I've never actually seen the fog. And they did a song called "Not to Us, O Lord" at the end, and the fog rolled out, and the lights were it was just cool.
Nice.
It was very cool, and it was, at least to me. And I've been to other kinds of concerts.
The best concert you've ever seen.
Best?
Yeah.
Weird Al Yankovic.
I'm not mad at the answer. At ESPN, for both of you, if you weren't in radio, what would be your preferred career? Go ahead, Zoe.
I would like to be an actor in a horror film.
Okay. Actor?
All right, let's be specific. I want to be the monster in the horror film.
Good with that. You make a solid Frankenstein.
No, I was more thinking along Jason Voorhees, Leatherface, that type of thing. I know you're not into those kind of movies, but if I was going to be, because I can do the hulking, menacing thing, especially at night. So I was made for that.
Text in your questions to the Rob Brown Show or at Lonzo on Word on Twitter or the Ingles Market text line at 71307. It's Get to Know Your Host Friday. We'll answer any question you want today, sports or not. If I wasn't radio, what would be my preferred career? Are we asking like realistic career or like dream career? Dream career is I'd be in a rock band. I'd be in a touring rock band. Without a doubt, dream career. I have traveled around the Southeast playing dive bars in an 80s cover band. But if I get to do anything, I would be a guitarist in a traveling rock and roll band. The majority of my favorite memories in my 20s came because I was in a rock band. The stuff I got to do that was awesome was in a rock band. I don't know if this counts as radio, but also I want to do what Chris Fowler does for a living. I want to travel the world calling play-by-play of every event in every sport. I want to call tennis, soccer, football, hockey, baseball, just be the penultimate play-by-play guy.
That's TV though. I mean, that's he does mostly TV. So
fine. I'll go with that. All right, here's where we get to the fun questions. Texter says, Rob, who is your preferred producer, Zoe or Diesel? I understand if you can't read this one. I told you, any question. Here's what I would tell you. It's Lonzo. It's Lonzo. And that's not a shot at Diesel. That's not a shot at Diesel. Diesel and I did a show that was very, very good. Because Diesel and I are effectively the same person. As Lonzo just said without turning on his mic, Diesel and I are the same person. We agree on pretty much everything. Pop culture references are our go-to. And so what happened with me and Diesel is that there really wasn't a lot of bounce back and forth because we were pretty much on the same page for everything. Lonzo and I have a lot of disagreements on a lot of things, but we also can talk about it and have those conversations and those debates. And occasionally it can get heated. But we get done with it and we go sit in the office and we talk about nerd stuff and we chill it out and we're good. And I think that it makes a little bit of conflict is a good thing. And Diesel and I just rarely butted heads on anything.
By the way, little tidbit. If you're watching on stream, if Rob and I really are getting into it, here's how we fix things. And I know this is really inside. We'll start talking about wrestling.
Yeah, we go to the
afterwards.
break and immediately I'm like, so
Yes.
did you see NXT last week?
So if
and
we-
that's it.
If we start talking about now that we pointed it out, we may just do it all the time to make you think that we were really upset with each other.
Unless I'm really pissed at Zoe, and then I'll tell him how bad WWE is and watch him get into his feels again. Texter at ESPN, who hates Mark Ryan more, Rob or Lonzo? And be honest, y'all both know you have wanted to kill him.
Hey, I want this. I want to answer this.
I agree with what he says before he says it because I know what he's going to say.
I love Mark Ryan, and here's the. I know he's an annoying little brother, and I will say that he's that little brother who thinks that he's like up here, but he's still your little brother. Even if he makes it to the heights of heights, you can still look at him and go, yeah, I would have did that better. And he can't really say anything because he's your little brother. And he gets so mad that he wants to hurt you, but he can't really do anything because he's your little brother. That's what it is. Because
Yeah.
Mark Ryan's my little brother. And you could tell him I said that.
Yeah. And sometimes you need some space. It happens. Right? I love Mark Ryan.
By the way, I wish him all the success in the world because the better he does, the better we do
Yeah.
as a station.
I love Mark Ryan. I'm not here doing this job in this show if it's not for Mark Ryan. In fact, when I had my Jacksonville experiment go terribly wrong, Mark Ryan's the one who called me and went, dude, you got to try out for this job. I think you'd fit in up here. I think you'd be a good run for it. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him. We love Mark. And we love the show for men. We got another texter that said, who would win between the Rob Brown show and the show for men in a Jello wrestling tag match? First off, we would.
Yeah.
Problem is, here's the problem. We would have to work together to gas Diesel and make him tag in Mark. Once Mark's tagged in, we're good.
Yeah. What are the rules though? And the Jello, are we
They said
using
tag match. I'm going classic. They said wrestling tag
okay?
match.
Because if it was an amateur match, we win also. I don't know.
Sure.
I don't know what your experience is, but I can beat both of them at wrestling, so
no.
we're good.
If we're going classic traditional Greco-Roman wrestling, I'll take the guy who wrestled.
Yeah. So I got that. I got that for
if
sure.
it's actual wrestling,
I got
I
that.
still take
I
us.
mean, we both got that
yeah,
too.
I still take us.
Because there are moves that we can do they've never heard of before, but they will feel them.
Second question, ESPN besides Mark, why are you guys bagging on Mark? You realize that we both like Mark and Diesel, right? We're friends. We hang out away from this.
I never said I like Diesel.
That's
Go
fair.
ahead.
That's fair. Producer
ahead.
fight. No, here's how I put it. Remember, I was talking about this earlier in the show. You know what we have between the two shows? We have an SEC rivalry. We have a conference rivalry, right? We both want to do better than the other. We both keep tabs on each other. We are both competing to do better than the other. But Mark Ryan is competing to do better than our show to push us. We are competing to do better than Mark Ryan's show to push off sides. And we are both pushing each other to be better shows so that ESPN Upstate as a whole gets better. That's the goal. It always is. Mark and I have hung out. In fact, after the bowling party, Mark and I hung out I'll even go inside baseball, at the Blind Horse Saloon, watching NBA basketball till like 1:30 in the morning.
Who chose the venue? Was it him or you?
It was not either of us.
Okay. All right. I was
It
just
was
curious.
not either of us.
Okay.
But yeah, we're all good, man. I don't know. Listen, I know.
I didn't know a cowboy hat out in the car or something.
God, that would be
It's just-
amazing.
Yeah, that big
No.
old belt buckle.
No, he did not. I know
I bet
that
he's got
we
one in
have
his closet.
we have this on-air pseudo rivalry. And, I mean, it's not a rivalry. We both want our shows to be better than the other. But it's for the sake of the station. It's a pseudo rivalry. We all like each other. That's the honest behind the scenes truth. We all like each other. At ESPN, both of you, what are some of your hobbies aside from sports? Go ahead, Zoe. I'll let you go first. What are some of your hobbies aside from sports? I feel like everybody knows because we talk about them on air.
Video games, music, anime.
We've pretty much talked about them this segment.
Yeah. I'm just a big time nerd. I also, one of my hobbies, which is kind of weird, is doing yard work
Yeah, that is weird.
because
Yard work sucks.
I really like doing yard work. But music goes with that too. Just being out there cranking the tunes, just you by yourself out there in the woods, wondering what that was that just moved out of the corner of your eye. It's an adventure.
No, I'm good. Motorcycle riding. Love to ride my motorcycle. Music, I'm the same way, both playing it and listening to it. I cook a little bit. I can cook. I've taught myself how to cook. I like cooking. Video games, same. I would say those are probably the biggest four. And just general adventuring. Like get on the bike and drive, pick a highway and drive until I find something cool to stop.
I sound boring now, but you guys need to realize how old I am. So a lot of stuff I've already done. I know how that sounds, but I mean, when I was younger, I did a ton of things. Like you're talking about exploring. We went through a phase and shouldn't have done it when we were like in our early 20s, where we went and explored abandoned buildings, which you should never do, and abandoned houses that were reportedly haunted. And we would just go out in the middle of the woods and find a house that we heard about and go in it at night with flashlights to see if they were haunted.
I'm glad you said that, because the next question that came in is, Robin Lonzo, do you believe in ghosts? Now we get to have fun.
Well, I know what my answer is, and I guarantee I know what Rob's answer is. So
Do you now?
My answer is yes. I
Okay.
do.
What's my answer?
Your answer is no.
I believe in the possibility of ghosts.
Okay, because I mean, there's no scientific proof
Correct.
that ghosts exist,
Correct.
and without said proof, Rob doesn't believe.
Correct.
So.
I do not believe that. I believe in the possibility. I cannot disqualify the possibility that ghosts exist, but I have no reason to believe in ghosts. So no, I do not believe ghosts exist. I believe in the possibility of them, but I do not believe in ghosts yet.
If I should die and become a ghost, I will haunt the studio and only make mistakes on offsides.
That'd be fine. You would be the first ghost to give us scientific proof that you exist. At ESPN, I don't know how you want to approach this. This was on you, Lonzo, directed at you. Did Mark Ryan switch producers because Lonzo could not get along with him?
Mark Ryan does not have the power that you seem to think he has.
Dexter says,
no matter how much he brags, there's one power upstairs.
yeah,
That is the power that makes decisions. He is not that power.
and that ain't me, for the record, so that you guys know.
Yeah.
Adam on our Facebook stream, facebook.com/ESPN Upstate. What sport or athlete do you hate discussing?
This is kind of tricky. You would think that I hate talking about Tom Brady, but I don't, because I get to disparage Tom Brady every time I talk about him. What do I don't know. We've been pretty quick with the answers for all these.
Yeah, this has been good.
And so I don't really know. I mean, it's just, all right. I'm going to say I don't like talking about the WNBA.
Really?
You know why?
I don't.
Because we don't talk about the
It's
WNBA.
true. We really don't.
Because no one does. Because I don't really know the athletes or anything, and I'm not into watching it. And it's not that I'm not into women's sports, because I love softball. If softball's on and baseball's on, I'm watching softball. I'm not
I'm mad
watching
about it.
baseball.
What sport or athlete do you hate discussing? I hate discussing Pete Rose, not because Pete Rose, but because
How dare you,
it's
sir.
Here's why. Should Pete Rose be in the Hall of Fame discussion?
He is in the Hall of Fame.
Should Pete Rose be completely reestablished, blah, blah, blah discussion?
Pete Rose is in the WWE. Hall
Yes,
of
he
Fame.
is. He is. We have been discussing this for 30 years. Lonzo, 0 people have changed their mind about Pete Rose. 0 people. It has been one of the most overused radio discussions in all of sports talk radio. It has been raging on for 30 years, and exactly 0 people have changed their mind on Pete Rose. It's a waste of time discussion for me. I can't stand it. It's a waste of time discussion. There's no point. Nobody's ever changing their mind. Nobody has ever said, oh, I didn't think about the Pete Rose discussion that way. You're right. I've changed my mind. It's never happened.
All right. So Red Watson tweets at us and says the athlete y'all hate talking about is Jake/Logan Paul. No, I love talking about that. You know why?
Because Rob gets angry and Lonzo likes
Because
that.
Rob hates it.
Yeah. Yeah.
The idea that these two guys, these YouTube stars, could possibly save a sport that he loves it really bothers him.
He can't and he won't. He's going to get knocked out by a real boxer one day, and then all the little YouTube millennials are going to go away, and the real boxing fans are going to be left to fix the sport that he damaged.
I'm seeing a manager on TV right now, and
Skip Bayless would hate
Skip
playing for
Bayless
that guy.
would absolutely hate that guy.
ESPN will mark where the jorts that I am getting him and what size should I get? Yes.
By the way, I don't get the hatred on jorts. I've worn jorts the majority of my time in South Carolina.
Go Gators.
I love jorts,
Go
and
Gators.
I don't think they're mutually exclusive to Florida. John Cena wears them.
Go Gators.
Is John Cena from Florida? I don't think so. I don't know, but I don't think so.
No, but if wrestlers were college football fans, John Cena would absolutely be a Gator fan. Absolutely.
I don't think me wearing jorts says go Gators. So,
Can
Mark,
All right. We got to take a break. Keep your questions coming in. Today is Get to Know Your Host Friday. Lonzo and I will answer any question that you want to ask honestly over the course of the hour. 844-477-3776 if you want to ask it over the phone. You can text your question of the day to 71307 or tweet us at The Rob Brown Show, at Lonzo on Word. We'll keep going when we come back on The Rob Brown Show at ESPN Upstate. Harley Davidson of Greenville. You know, we got asked a second ago on our Get to Know a Host Friday question, what are our hobbies outside of sports? And what was the first one I told you? Riding my motorcycle. That is it. When you ask me what I like to do outside of the station, my number one answer is always, I love to ride my motorcycle. And I do. It is a fantastic, fantastic hobby. I've been doing it for years, and I will keep doing it for years. And Harley Davidson of Greenville will hook you on it the same way that I have gotten hooked. Go to Harley Davidson of Greenville, 30 Chrome Drive right here in the Ville, and check out not just a showroom full of the brand new in-stock 2021s with the new paint schemes and the new finishes and all the gadgets and gizmos. They can build the 2021 bike of your dreams, customized exactly the way that you want it customized to make it the bike that you have always wanted. But on top of that, they've got the largest pre-owned selection in the entire upstate. You will not find a better selection of pre-owned bikes ready to be ridden today than at Harley Davidson of Greenville. Go see them at 30 Chrome Drive, or check them out online. The entire inventory, you can see it right there at upstateharley.com, upstateharley.com. It's Harley Davidson of Greenville. I have to think of it.
The action courtesy of the White Sox Radio Network 9 to 8, the final over the Yankees and the Field of Dreams game in Dyersville, Iowa. The game played on the site of the cornfield where the movie Field of Dreams was filmed. Tim Anderson with the game-winning two-run homer for the Sox, who blew a 7-4 lead in the ninth.
So I'm going to step off camera now and eat this delicious 6-inch sub from Subway. They should advertise with me, but I don't want to do it in front of people because, you know, do you like people watching you while you eat? Because maybe I have bad manners or something. I don't know. I don't, by the way.
your only option. We're excited to tell you about QC Kinetics. Right here in Greenville and Asheville, QC Kinetics is the leader in biologic therapies, regenerative solutions that can repair and restore.
Chris just told me that my new computer has over quadrupled the amount of RAM that I have available.
Call now to learn more. 864-448-3772. If you have chronic joint pain, don't assume the old treatments are the only treatments. Learn more about new biologic therapy options now available here. Restorative, regenerative treatments for joint pain. Finally, call the local professionals at QC Kinetics. 864-448-3772. 864-448-3772. Get your life back without pain. 864-448-3772.
Essential team doctors for the Clemson Tigers and UFSC Gamecocks. Prisma Health Orthopedics can give you and your family the same care we provide top athletes. If hip and knee pain is making your daily life difficult, seek the best care. Find out if joint pain is affecting your quality of life by taking a free health assessment. Don't let hip or knee pain hold you back. Learn more at prismahealth.org/ortho.
There's never been a better time to switch to Spectrum Mobile. You can save hundreds of dollars on your mobile bill. Plus, there are no added taxes, hidden fees, and no contracts. Try the Spectrum Mobile Savings Calculator today, and in 3 easy steps, you'll see how much you could save by switching. Visit spectrummobile.com/save. Spectrum Internet required. Savings may vary. Restrictions apply. Visit spectrummobile.com/save for details.
Welcome to AutoZone. Having some starting trouble? We can help you out. Let's start with a free battery test. If you just need a charge, we can help with that too.
Look,
And
they're
if you
doing the
need a battery,
Macarena.
We've got a wide selection of replacements.
Yeah, they've been doing that at every game. Also, you ready for my hot take that's going to get me in trouble today? There's a lot of really fat kids in this. I don't remember the kids being that fat when I was playing Little League Baseball.
COVID.
There are some chubs, dude.
COVID.
You think that's it? Like, that kid swinging the bat up there. That kid's just fat. That's not even chubby. The kid on second ago, the ball got past the catcher to the backstop, died at the backstop, and he still almost got thrown out, stealing a 45-foot base.
He did struggle a little bit.
He was struggling hard.
That was pretty mean.
I know it's mean. I know I'm going to get dragged for it, and that's fine.
Whoa, that kid is huge. I'm talking about tall. Someone needs to get his birth certificate right now.
There's some big boys in this. 5'7", 220.
That's what I'm saying.
220.
I need a birth certificate on that guy.
All right, in just a second, we're going to go back to Get to Know Your Host Friday, but I have to say this, and I'm going to get dragged, and I accept it. We're watching the Little League World Series, the regionals, as Lonzo and I have been doing for the past 3 days, and here's where Rob gets himself in trouble. Y'all, some of these kids are fat, not chubby, not a little husky. There was a kid, 12 years old, who was just at the plate, 12 years old. He is listed at 220. And I'm not talking like he developed a muscular body early in his life. The kid was fat, 220 pounds at 12. Lonzo.
He's also 5'7". Chances are this kid's going to get taller and taller. Sometimes, I mean, I've seen kids start a certain way, get big, get small, get big. It's just a matter of having to grow into. Stop calling kids fat, man. This is mean.
Lonzo, that kid's 220 pounds at 12 years old. There is grow into your body, chubby.
He didn't look that big till he tried to run to first base.
Yeah.
And that was a struggle. Yeah. It absolutely was a struggle.
The first baseman for New Hampshire.
So what you're saying the level of play for Little League this year has went down because of the size of the players?
No, I'm saying some of these kids are unhealthy fat.
Well, as unhealthy as you may find them, they've got to be pretty good to make it this far.
I'm not disagreeing that they're good baseball players. I'm saying a 12-year-old should not be 220 pounds. By the way, listed playing weight.
All right, so you're saying that
I'm saying he might be heftier than 220.
So you're saying there are no overweight? Listen, Skip, are you saying there's no overweight players in MLB, Skip?
No. I'm not trying to
He's ignoring the dig.
No, it's a great dig. It's a great line. And you got me on the ropes there. I'm saying, because here's the thing. Rob's fat because Rob's fat. I have made the choice to ingest the cake and fried foods to be at 200. Here's the thing, Lonzo, I'm 6'3", 36, and I am less than 30 pounds heavier than a 12-year-old. That's not good, man. That's not good. See, the difference is Skip said fat guys can't coach, or I wouldn't play for a fat guy because they can't coach, right?
That 5'7", 12-year-old may end up being 6'8".
He might be. And if he's 6'8", 220, I'm going to be like, hey, you're in shape, big fella.
I think 5'7" is fairly tall for a 12-year-old.
That's a 12-year-old that is 200 right. The 5'7" isn't the problem here.
Well,
ESPN, you sound like Skip now, Rob. You only like your little leaguers. Okay, first off, what a weird way to send that text.
I think you're just taking it the wrong way. You know, it's hard to fit things in when you're.
Did I say he was a bad baseball player?
No, you did not.
No. Did I say he shouldn't be here? Did I say I wouldn't coach a team that had him on it? No. I am saying that the first baseman from New Hampshire, the ball went past the catcher to the backstop, died at the backstop. The catcher got up, got the ball, and still almost threw him out at second on a 45-foot base path.
You know, for the last 5 minutes,
That's
there's
all I'm
been
saying.
nothing but skinny kids on there. So they have a token fat kid. I mean, you
there's
know.
been like 3. The first baseman's the one that almost got thrown out. The last 2 batters ago was 220.
If the 220 guys get up there and they're hitting grand slams, do you have a problem with that? Because maybe that's why they're on the team.
No. Hey, listen. I didn't say he can't be a bomber.
Bartolo
Colon is my favorite
There we
MLB
go.
player
Okay.
of all time.
I was going to say, I go way back to the Bad News Bears, the original Bad News Bears. You got to have a fat kid on
Yeah.
your team to play catcher. I
Listen.
mean, that's what you're supposed to do, right?
I tell you the name. ESPN, Fat People Play Baseball, says something about baseball. You can be fat and a good baseball player. It's okay. Do you realize how many fat offensive linemen there are? A lot. Hell, you can be fat and strong.
And fast.
Fat strong's a real thing.
And fast.
Yeah. Offensive linemen, most of them are fat, strong, and fast. I'm not saying this.
Your average.
And they go about 365, 370 on average. 3, not 2, 3. All right. Now, you guys are missing the point. You guys are missing my point entirely. I'm not saying that these kids are bad at baseball or they shouldn't be. I'm not saying any of that. I'm saying it's kind of unfair to let your 12-year-old get to 230 pounds.
So you're blaming the parenting.
Yes.
Okay.
That's not good. Just health-wise, that's not good. All right, 844-477-3776, 844-GSP-ESPN. And now the text line is just a bunch of texters ripping baseball because fat guys can be good at baseball. Bartolo Colon and Jumbo from the Dominican Republic would like a word. Pablo Sandoval would like a word. There have been some great. Babe Ruth was a fat guy. Are you kidding me? Prince Fielder was a fat guy. CC Sabathia was a fat guy. Hell, Andrew Jones got fat towards the end of his career. There is nothing wrong with it. First off, there's nothing wrong with being fat. I am one. I am the fat. And I accept it. It's just part of who I am now. Get over it. I don't care about your beauty standards.
Rob is not only fat, he said, I am the fat.
I am the fat.
Okay. All right.
You know who else was? Big Papi. Me and Ortiz. By the way, we talked about that kid who's listed 220. I bet you he's 225. You know what David Ortiz's playing weight was when we called him fat? 230. And he was a fat player.
What was his height, though?
6'4",
Okay.
230,
All
and
right.
he was fat. That kid's 5'7", 220. It's not, it's unfair to that kid, man.
It would be awesome if that kid was from around here and his parents were calling right now to get on you about calling him fat.
Whatever. It ain't my fault. Andrew Jones, 250 when he retired. Jonathan Broxton was a hell of a pitcher, 6'4", 295. I'm just saying, you can be fat and be good at baseball. Hell, I was fat and good at baseball.
Welcome to Get to Know the Host. On today's program, we find out that Rob doesn't like fat kids.
Texter says, hope your nephew doesn't listen to the show and get an eating complex because he doesn't want to get big and Uncle Rob will stop loving him. Oh, my. You guys are terrible. You guys are terrible.
Wait, they're terrible? You're
terrible.
cracking on fat kids and they're terrible?
I'm saying, no, I'm cracking on the parents. The kid, is it okay that kid is 220 pounds at 12 years old, Lonzo?
I don't know his personal situation. So I don't know that maybe he has medical conditions or maybe he's the smallest person in his family.
All right, I'm the bad guy.
You are.
I'm the bad guy. Texture says, ESPN, Mummy, why is the angry man yelling on the radio? Well, honey, he sounds hungry. That's good. That's good. All right, we got a few more texts that have come. Few more texts that have come into the text line. It is Get to Know Your Host Friday. You can ask Lonzo and I anything that you want to ask us. Anything you want to ask us. Text it into 71307. 71307. Texter says, ESPN Rob, who cares about fat kids? What is your favorite magic mushroom experience? Honest answer, never used them. Never used them. So I don't have
So
one.
they're not talking about Mario?
No.
Okay.
No, that's the correct response. Yours is funnier than mine. No. He's Lonzo. I'm Skip Brown. This is the Skip Brown Show on ESPN Upstate.
An Odyssey station for the ones going above and beyond, for the ones reaching out, helping out, and lending a hand, for the ones people count on. You can count on Grainger. Grainger offers supplies and solutions for every industry, backed by 24/7 customer support and specialists to help with hard-to-find products. Because you've got everyone's back. We've got yours. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger.
Wow, on the Rampage promo, they tried to make Christian look amazing, and it just looked like he fell down. Looked like he tripped.
All right, I want to tell you how I get mad at dumb stuff on TV. There is a commercial, one of these Allstate commercials with Chris Paul and Ionescu. And there's one where they're reading the script, and he's holding a basketball with one hand, and he's reading a skit with the other. And he reads in the script that at the end of his moment, Chris Paul turns into a basketball and disappears. And then as soon as he reads it, Chris Paul turns into a basketball. But here's the thing. One basketball falls. Two basketballs should have fallen because he was holding a basketball. Then he turned into a basketball. So two basketballs should have fallen, but only one fell. That's a consistency issue. I said what I said, and I'm not wrong.
I've just always wondered what basketball has to do with car insurance, but what do I know?
Get Allstate's new low auto rate and be better protected from mayhem. like me. The theme single from Wendy's made fresh, never frozen meat has the power to blow your mind.
All right, Robert, I'm confused. Perhaps Rob can look
What's
at the message and get that. So
Oh, I eat mellow mushroom all the time. Mellow mushroom's delicious. Magic mushrooms, completely different experience.
I've had it before. I am. It's hard to say bad things about pizza.
All right, the Rob Brown Show back on your radio. This is ESPN Upstate. I am Rob. Lonzo sitting across from me.
I have a question for the host.
It's get to know your host Friday. You can ask us anything you want. Now Lonzo's going to make it weird.
I have several questions, but we'll just go with the first one. Have you ever played a bad note on stage multiple times?
Yeah.
And it got in your head and
Yeah.
you couldn't figure out how to play
You
that
get the
note?
yips. You get the yips playing guitar just like you get the yips in golf and everything else. I played like 3 solos during our show, and one of them, Lonzo, we play our version of Friends in Low Places by Garth Brooks. And that is the one solo that I actually look really cool. All right. That's the one I get to walk up to the front of the stage and put the one foot up on the monitor, and I actually move around the fretboard and blah, 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 blah. Anyway, there's one part right in the middle of the solo where you go, there's a little walk down at the top, and then you go back up to 2nd string, 5th fret, and you do a big bend. Anyway, I missed that bend one time. So instead of it was and it's like, oh no, and you can't recover from that because it's such a prominent note in the solo that if you miss it, the second part of the solo, you just got to skip it. You just got to go back to playing the chords and hope nobody noticed. So I did that at one show. And now every time I play for about 3 shows after that, then I got really nervous about hitting that bend and getting that note right on my only solo that like really looks cool, to the point that I'm like rotating the guitar up to look and make sure my fingers are, and I kept missing it anyway, to the point that I told the boys, I'm like, one of y'all has to play it. I'm done. I can't do it anymore. And it took me a while to get back to it. Now it's muscle memory. Now I kill it every time. There's also one other song. What is it? There's one other song where I play a 1-note solo, right? It's literally 1 note, and it's just one big bend. Wow. And I do this whole thing where, like, I walk up to the center of stage. I make a big production about moving my fan so that it's hitting me when I used to have long hair, and it's blowing the hair and, like, getting up and, like,
Wait.
licking the fingers.
How long was that?
Oh, shoulder length. It was a while back. It was like 10 years ago.
I need
It was
pics.
shoulder length. And I make this big production out of like, oh God, this guy's about to shred, right? Get up, 1 foot on the monitor, get ready to roll. And then when it's my time to solo, the whole band would look at me like they're ready for me to spit fire off the Strat. And then I would just go, wow. And then I'd be done. And I'd reset everything. And that was the whole solo. It was just a big joke thing. I missed it once. 1-note solo. I missed it. I just hit the wrong note and it was bad. So I got the yips on that one too. It happens.
So you didn't play it off like you hit the bad note on purpose?
No, that time I absolutely did. But then,
Yeah.
but I still want to get, I mean, it's a 1-note solo. Like, get it right, right? But I pretended like I nailed it.
All right.
And it was bad.
I have another question for the host. Have you ever been so nervous during an interview with a celebrity or a sports person that you cut the interview off early?
No. I can say without honesty, that's never happened. I have cut interviews off because the person I was interviewing was a bad interview. I have cut interviews off. Let's see, who was I? I was telling you a story the other day about one that I did that too. Because who was it? Musburger. I had an interview with Brent Musburger about 8 years ago. This was right after. Remember when he got in a little heat because it was an FSU game and they showed Jen Sturger, who was the super hot FSU chick that went on to have the Brett Favre controversy. They showed her and Musburger went on TV and he was like, 75,000 red-blooded American males just signed up to go to Florida State. And he got some heat for that, which, all right, whatever. Anyway, I had it on an interview about 3 weeks
Brent,
later.
quit being a dude.
Yeah. I had him on the show about 3 minutes later, about 3 weeks later, and he was scheduled to come on at 1:15 or whatever, and it was a hard out at 1:30, which is like we had Ann Dark the other day, right? They were like, you have 10 minutes and not a second longer because he's got hard outs, more interviews. It's like, all right, cool, fun enough, I'll take it. So he called in like 9 minutes after his showtime, and when his PR person called my producer, she's like, you have him for 3 minutes. And then he has to be out. And it's like, so we had him on. I'm like, all right, 3-minute interview with Brent Musburger. And I brought him on. And, we started talking about college football. And I want to say I asked him about the ACC or something. And he's like, yeah, it should be good. That's the whole answer. It's Brent Musburger, whole answer. So I'm like, you know what? Don't worry about it. I'm like, Brent, hey, man, I know you got to run. I appreciate your time. Thank you. And that was it. Never cut an interview due to nervousness, although I have lost my train of thought in interviews due to nervousness. Happened one time, and I told you who it was. I was starstruck by 2 people I've interviewed so far. Ian Dark yesterday was one. I was nervous about that one. And Michael Buffer. Let's get ready to... Nah, I can't say it. I know, right? That's why I got nervous. Same reason you just did.
You just wanted to make me nervous.
Uh-huh.
And
what just happened was why I got nervous. Because I'm like, God, if I say something... and I'll take this interview, and the dude's a legend.
Yeah, my hand was on your mic
Yes,
button.
it was.
Then I was reaching for the dump button.
Yes,
afterwards.
it was. Exactly. I know. I get it.
Yeah, that guy owns that
Yep.
phrase to that degree
Yep.
where we get an annual reminder about it.
Yep. So those are my 2 big ones. Ian Dark yesterday and Michael Buffer. Texter says, Rob. No, sorry, ESPN. Which are you? PlayStation, Xbox, or PC?
I will answer this first and say yes. And you throw in a Nintendo Switch in there.
I'm an Xbox guy for a couple of reasons. Number one, it's what I've always owned since college, right? And once you get comfortable with something, it's hard to change. Number two, all of my entertainment runs through my Xbox. All my TV, all of that comes through my Xbox. And number three, I tried to be a PC gamer for a while.
It's expensive.
It's expensive, dude. And it gets progressively more expensive the more you want to do it. To build a PC that is capable of doing what my Xbox is doing, I'm in for $1,000 before I buy a game. That's too much. I can't do it.
See, my advice to someone who wants to own multiple systems and computers is to teach your kids the game. And when they get older and they get jobs, they will buy you gifts that are game related, like systems, which is how I am able to have.
Well, I'm not blackmailing my kids for games, so I'm just an Xbox guy.
There's no blackmail. It's no blackmail. I never asked for it. It was given out of love.
This texter who thinks I won't, well, I can't spin that one around. This texter who thinks that I won't immediately pick up on her phone number on the text line has texted, Rob, what was the first CD you purchased? Number one, that's my mother texting the show. Do you know why she's asking this question, Lonzo?
Because she thinks that the answer will embarrass you.
Correct. Because the first CD that I ever spent money on was probably like 5th grade. The first CD that I ever spent money on, she's right, it is Britney Spears' Hit Me Baby One More Time.
You should not be embarrassed by that.
Now, here's the thing. I can give you the story. I bought that CD off of a young lady named April Williams on bus number 92-1 in Shalimar. And the reason why was because my friend April Williams bought that CD and she listened to it and she's like, I don't know why I bought this. I hate this CD. And I was like, I'll buy it off of you. I mean, Britney was like the jam back in the day, right? So I'm like, I'll buy it off of you. And I bought it off of her for $6 in cash, which is what I had on me that day.
Wow, you got $6?
I had $6 in cash. I bought it off of April Williams on bus 92-1 in the Boulevard of Champions neighborhood for $6 cash because she hated it. And I was like, what the hell? $6 for a CD? I'll buy it.
1%ers have $6 on them at all times.
I know. I'm not a real man because my teachers didn't threaten to shoot me.
I could tell you I can't tell you the first CD I bought because I can tell you the first 45 I bought. You know what a 45 is?
Yeah, it's an album.
No,
I got 45s
no,
and
no,
vinyls.
yeah, 45 was
Vinyls.
the
Yeah,
the
45s and
single.
33s. Yeah.
Yeah, so it wasn't a 33, it was a 45, and it was Hot Stuff by Donna Summer.
Okay. It's like the Britney Spears of the day.
I was a disco kid.
Yeah.
Hey,
I'm not mad about it. Not mad about it.
there's something about Donna Summer. I wasn't old enough to really know why, but I really liked her.
Yeah. So to my mother who tried to embarrass me on air, you did. Congratulations. It worked. But I remember every detail of why it happened. You know why? Because you keep bringing up trauma from my past in front of my
I tried
friends,
to
Mom.
I tried to lessen the blow and tell you that I mean, you know, which was absolutely the truth. I bought Donna Summer, so how's Britney Spears any worse than that?
Donna Summer's just so much better than Britney Spears, and I love Brit. Free Britney. 1 segment left. If you guys want to throw in some more questions before we get out for the hour, you're welcome to. Got a few more we'll answer before we take a break on the Rob Brown Show and ESPN Upstate.
Chance for Swamp Side 86. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Vuchitsky on ESPN Upstate. Currently, it's 94.
I want to broadcast live from Dragon.
Oh, yeah. Are you kidding me?
Hi, this is Jerry Recco. Join Kevin Ray, Danny White, myself for all the action as the Cowboys score off with Kyler Murray and the Cardinals. Football is back. It's the Dallas Cowboys and the Arizona Cardinals. If it's the NFL, it's right here.
Tonight at 9:30, the NFL plays here on ESPN Upstate.
There's nothing worse than coming home from a hot day to find out that your AC unit isn't working. When this happens, you need an HVAC company you can trust. A company like Priority Heating and Air. Their HVAC specialist will give your system a thorough checkup. And if you need a new unit, Priority Heating and Air is a proud distributor of the Coleman line of HVAC systems. So keep your family or business cool this summer and give Priority Heating and Air a call today at 591-1847 or find them online at PriorityHeatingandAirHVAC.com.
What y'all asked for is here. One day, all day GA passes for Night in the Country Carolinas, presented by Ingles Markets. All day, one-of-a-kind festival experiences. All night live music featuring Miranda Lambert, Old Dominion, Chris Young, and more. Get yours at any Ingles location and save $15. This is your next great country tradition. August 26th through 28th at Tryon Resort. Details at nightinthecountry.org.
This feature sponsored by Walgreens. Walgreens knows you don't want to cut the summer fun short by getting caught without sunscreen. Luckily, they make it easy to get the essentials you need quickly with delivery in as little as 1 hour so you can keep your summer going. Restrictions apply. See Walgreens.com for details.
Microban 24 protects against Staphylococcus aureus and Enterobacter aerogenes bacteria, but does not provide 24-hour protection against viruses. Every time you touch a surface, you leave behind bacteria. Use Microban 24 sanitizing spray to keep surfaces sanitized.
So what was the best song on that Britney Spears album?
Dude, I let's see. Me, baby, one more time. CD track listing.
When used as directed, Microban 24. Touch after touch, it doesn't give up.
Benito's Life Coach is throwing his kitchen towels. Needs to find help before his
There was a song on that album called Email My Heart, which it's terrible.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, you got to think of when this album dropped. Baby One More Time was what, 1998, 1999? I would say the best song off that album was probably From the Bottom of My Broken Heart. Was a great breakup album for or breakup song for a teenager. This was the era when Brit was in her Taylor Swift phase, right? Like a lot of breakup songs for teenagers, a lot of teenage angst songs. From the Bottom of My Broken Heart was good. I'd say that was probably the best album off of that.
See, Keegan says that her dad stepped down as conservator.
I just looked that up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know that it's been an ongoing saga for the last, well, a while. All right, we have a minute and a half when we come back. I'm just going to let the music play.
Mm-hmm. Why is the man on the radio yelling? Because he's hungry. What a line. What a line.
Prescription opioids. Take them out of medicine cabinets and lock them in a safe place only you know about. Learn more opioid safety tips at justplainkillers.com.
Real unfiltered sports talk brewed
The Rob Brown Show, wrap it up. Hour number 2 here on ESPN Upstate. Here's what we're going to do. We're not going to focus on it as much in the last hour, but if you want to get to know your host in the next hour, you're welcome to. Any questions you want to ask, text them into 71307 on the Ingles Market text line, and we will answer them for you. But coming up in the next hour, we're going to look ahead to the weekend in NFL preseason football. Talk a little bit about last night's Field of Dreams game, which was absolutely the best. Absolutely the best. So we'll talk about that and a whole lot more as we get through the final hour of the week. Rob Alonso, this is ESPN Upstate.
We have a golf card in the first break.
AutomotiveMap.com presents the Sports Flash on ESPN Upstate. NFL preseason action on Thursday night. The New England Patriots with a 22-13 win over Washington. In Philadelphia, the Eagles dropped a 24-16 decision against the Steelers. 3 matchups on the schedule tonight. The Falcons are home against the Titans. The Bills visit Detroit. The Cowboys on the road visiting Arizona. Busy day tomorrow when the Dolphins visit the Bears. The Broncos at Minnesota. The Saints head to Baltimore to battle the Ravens. The Jaguars host the Browns. The Bengals visit the Buccaneers.
All right, it's killing me because on Facebook and Twitter, I keep seeing early beta access for the game that I have already pre-ordered, which means it's waiting for me. Boss, I don't feel good. I need to go home. I want to go home and play video games.
It's still funny. You shock. Hey, Cole Bryson.
Oh no, sound like somebody got hurt really bad in that promo.
All right, the third, the final, the best hour of the Rob Brown Show goes now. This is ESPN Upstate. Hello, Upstate South Carolina. Get to know host Friday. We're going to talk actual sports in this hour of the show, but we got a couple more questions that have come in since then. This one does not have a name attached to it, but I'm going to assume that is directed at me. ESPN, what is your favorite dive bar? Do you mean?
Yeah, I'm guessing that's
directed
at you,
at me.
probably. Yeah.
Does that mean? Do you mean dive bar here in the area, or do you mean dive bar? Period. That would be my question. Do you mean dive bar? My favorite dive bar of all time is a little dive bar down in Destin, Florida, called the Boathouse. I grew up in the Boathouse. You can get there by boat, obviously. It's a good name for the Boathouse. It's on the Destin Harbor, which I know.
Oh, so it wasn't just a clever name. Okay.
Yeah, no, it was back when so Destin, where I'm from, although, and I know a bunch of folks from around here, use Destin as a vacation spot, which is super cool. So Destin used to be, it's kind of a huge tourist area now, but it used to be literally, Lonzo, it was just sand. It was just Highway 98 and sand, and there wasn't anything there. And then it became a big fishing village. And the Boathouse Bar used to be an old boathouse. It was actually a boathouse. It was a house over the water where you drive your fishing boat in and you'd lift it up out of the water, and it just housed your boat. Now it's a dive bar. When I was a kid and my dad would take us out on the boat, after we would go out on the boat, we would go to the Boathouse and we'd get oysters. He would have a Miller Lite. We would get crackers and oysters and hang out. And there was a guy playing guitar there named Rusty Hammerstrom. Rusty has been playing in the Boathouse, Lonzo, my entire life, literally. Still plays there today. He was playing there when I was born in the 80s.
Is he any good?
He's great.
Okay.
And it has been the same set from 1985 till now. And he kills it, right? So anyway, my favorite dive bar here in the Upstate, I got to tell you, I'm a big Hall of Fame guy.
Can I ask another question? I'm not trying to crack. I don't know.
Yeah,
is dive bar kind of a cut, or is it a term of endearment?
It depends on who's using it.
Okay.
For me, term of endearment. I prefer a dive bar over a nightclub. I prefer a dive bar over a regular bar. A dive bar is just like a dive bar. A dive bar is a place that you go where you already know who's going to be there on what nights of the week, right? It's a dive bar. Most of the time, people consider them to be dirty and grimy. They don't have to be. But I love a good dive bar. Hall of Fame Sports Grill is my local dive. Good chunk of the reason is I live relatively close to it. So it's easy. I can literally walk to Hall of Fame. So I'm there a lot because I can walk there and have some wings and a beer or two, watch a game, and then walk home. But there are some Local Q. I'm a big fan of Local Q. Really good wings there. There's a couple others in the area that I found. In the area out of town, if you go up to Chimney Rock, North Carolina, which is one of my favorite places, right at the foot of Chimney Rock, there is the Hickory Nut Brewery. Fantastic little dive right there, and it's got beautiful scenery. Right out back is the river. I don't know what river it is. I should. And then right across the river is Chimney Rock. It's absolutely beautiful. Let's see what else. Texter. Oh, this is an interesting one, Lonzo. I think we can both answer this. What is your show prep routine? Do you guys talk topics the day before, day of? Do you pre-allocate time to certain segments to fill the time slots? I know there's a lot more that goes into it than we think. I'm just curious. That's from Tyler and Easel. Great question. Great question, Tyler. Here's my show prep routine. And I think I can answer to some degree for Lonzo, and that Lonzo show prep routine is to listen to me doing my show prep routine in our office.
Because I am very busy.
Yes.
I know how that sounds.
Yeah.
But I am very busy.
Lonzo's running 2 different stations.
Yeah, and so I'm doing a ton of other stuff, but you're right. I listen to what you're doing, and we will. You've only recently returned to the office, so for a while,
You had no idea what I was doing.
but I'm good enough to be able to go with it.
True.
You know, it's pretty easy to look and go, okay, this is going on in sports right now. There's a good shot we're probably going to talk about it, and all the other stuff that's outside of sports, we're kind of into mostly the same stuff. So it's pretty easy.
I will also tell you that my show, I talk about what I prefer to talk about what is happening in sports, right? Like there are a lot of shows, and this is not a crack or a dig, it's just not my style. There are a lot of shows that do list and top 10s and hypothetically, do you think that X is Y? And it's not really my style. I'd rather talk about what's actually happening in sports. It's just my preference. My show prep, Tyler, to answer your question, is usually about 9 o'clock at night. I'm sitting down on a couch with my laptop. I have a Google Docs document that is the show format. And it's got the show broken out segment by segment. Usually what will happen is I go through and I get everything that I want to talk about the night before. I know we're going to be talking about this, and this. This game, this breakdown. Here's what this cat did, and I think he deserves to be talked about. All of the non-sports stuff I put out there. Like when I was watching last night, when I was watching the Hall of Fame game, the Field of Dreams game, I knew that I was going to want to talk about that segment abstract, right? Not like, here's what happened in the game, even though it was a great game. I knew I wanted to talk about the movie magic and the sentimentality that I felt watching the opening of that game last night. And so the segments that I know I want to put in a certain time block, like I knew I wanted to open with that. So I fill that out on the sheet, but then all the rest stay at a list at the top, and I prioritize them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 based on the things I have to get to. Items 1, 2, 3. I want to get to 4, 5, 6. And hey, if we have time, 7, 8, 9. And then, so what I will do is that night at my house, ordinarily, I will start to find, if there's any sound that I want to run, I'll go find the sound. Start plugging it in. Then when I come in the morning, I'm usually here between 9 and 10 a.m. And when I get in the morning, I sit at the computer. I go pull all the sound that I listed the night before. I run through all of my other prep sites to find where the rest of my sound is. And then basically from 10 to 12, it is hopping to every sports website to see the stories that I miss. It is checking it on Twitter to see what broke overnight after I went to bed that I didn't catch. And at that point is when I really kind of start formulating my thoughts about what I want to talk about. It's all right. So it's not just the Hall of Fame game or the Field of Dreams game, but here's what happened in the Field of Dreams game. And then I will also tell you, Mark Ryan made the comment to me about 2 weeks ago when we were in Panthers camp. We were talking about each other's shows and, some of the differences and similarities in them. And Mark Ryan said, do you know what I genuinely like about your show? It's not a dig. You know what I really like about your show? And I said, what's that? And he said, your show sounds the exact same if you prep 6 hours or you prep 6 minutes. And it's true because we talk about what's actually happening on the air.
I said that could be a compliment, or that could be the opposite. For sure.
And I know he was meant a compliment because he went out of his way to make sure that I knew it. He said, I'm saying this as a compliment, not a dig. Your show sounds the same. Your tone of voice, your show sounds the same, whether you did 6 hours of prep or 6 minutes. But that's primarily because I focus on what's happening in sports. I don't have, especially during football seasons, though, I don't really have to prep as much during football because I'm going to come in here and talk about what we saw on the football field and the human aspects of it. But I'm a human, so that's where a lot of that comes from. So I don't feel the need to go as deep as I would if I'm doing a lot of, what was the one I heard the other day? I heard somebody the other day do a top 10 list. I'm like, I don't need it. Who's the top 10 coaches in college football? I don't need to do that list. It's not my bag. Everybody's got theirs. If you want to, no, I did like there are some segments I like. can Shane Beamer replicate at South Carolina what Dabo Swinney did at Clemson? I like that topic. That's a fun topic. That's fine. But I don't need to power rank SEC coaches. That's kind of boring. It's not my style. Doesn't mean it's bad for somebody else's show. It's just not for me. So, to answer your question, Tyler, about 2 to 3, 4 hours a night, sitting in front of the TV with the laptop. If I'm out and about doing something, I'm still paying attention and I'm putting notes into my phone. I wake up about 8:30. I'm usually in the office between 9 and 10. Depends on what happened the night before. And then from 9 to 12 or 10 to 12, pulling audio, searching through everything I have not seen yet, putting my thoughts together and organizing them in a way that's a little bit more than the score last night was 9-8. 4 home runs for the Yankees, 4 home runs from the White Sox. It's, hey, man, here's why.
It's funny. You and I put together a show the same way. I do the same thing you do on Saturdays for my Saturday show. And I've also been, around a bunch of different hosts on talk radio and on radio. I mean, on sports radio to see how they do things. Basically, the bare bones of it, everybody basically does it the same way. It's just a matter of when it's done. Is it done a couple hours before, or in some cases, is it done right up to the moment that they go on the air?
Yeah, I think that's it, man.
And back in the day, you had to use newspapers because that's all you had.
Yeah, the internet's a lifesaver.
Yes,
Twitter's
it is.
and I'll tell you another one. Twitter's a lifesaver, right? Twitter's, in fact, the reason that I started Twitter Trending Topics, by the way, the text that just came in, you know what I like best about your show? Twitter Trending Topics. That means it's almost over. Nyuk, nyuk, nyuk. They actually typed out nyuk, nyuk, nyuk at the end of their text.
Did they spell that correctly?
NYUK.
Okay.
Nyuk,
All
nyuk,
right.
nyuk. Solid. The reason that Twitter Trending Topics is a thing we do every day is because I've realized, listen, Twitter is not real life. You know, Twitter's not real life. But Twitter is a pretty good mirror about what people are interested in talking about.
It's for hate, it's for trolls, but you know what it's really for? Breaking news.
I got to tell you, it is for breaking news.
I find breaking news quicker on Twitter than I do watching the bottom line of
100%.
ESPN and a lot of other things.
100%. It is great for
So if
breaking
you
news.
see me constantly looking up, I'm clicking back and forth between a couple of sites, seeing if there's any breaking news.
Sure. Absolutely. And for the record, I've met some of my best friends here in the upstate through Twitter. I met Keegan through Twitter. I met Satakis through Twitter. I met all the people I hang out with here through Twitter. It's a great website, but it's a really good lens to what people, especially in the world of sports, what people are really talking about, what they're interested in. So usually the last thing I do before I come on the air, and what I do even when we're on the air, is I start scrolling through Twitter Trending Topics right before we go to see what sports topics are trending. Because if it's being talked about on Twitter enough that it's trending, then it's probably something good to talk about on air because it has people's attention, right? So a good chunk of that is spent on Twitter as well. And then by the time noon rolls around, man, the other aspect of it though, and I think Zoe will agree with this, a lot of it is what's carrying momentum on the show, right? I have done entire shows where I've put 8, 9, 10 hours of prep into what I think is going to be a really deep show. And then one topic, you guys blow up the phone lines or blow up the text lines or tweeting us or whatever. And one topic carries, how many shows have we had where one topic carries the show because you guys are just super into it?
It's about being able to handle spontaneity and swerve when you need to
Yeah.
and go somewhere else, because sometimes things take off. If it's hot dogs or something else that's not even sports related, some people can't do that.
What's the old
Some people have to stick to their notes. They have to go in their order, and if they go out of their lane, it makes them angry.
Yeah. Mike Tyson had a quote once, everybody's got to play until they get punched in the mouth, right? That's kind of the premise of the show. I show prep a 2-3 page format outline for the show. And I can tell you more often than not, I don't get through it and I don't follow it. It's there. I can lean on it when I need to. But very rarely do I get through everything that I have show prep to talk about. I prep probably 6 hours for a 3-hour show, and I usually use about 2 to 3 hours of it tops. Because and this is the other aspect of it. This part I mean, here's my suck up portion. The other part of it is, I put together a show based on what I want to talk about. But a huge chunk of what we talk about is what you guys want to talk about. Y'all are important to the show. That's why I give out the phone number at the beginning and the middle of every segment. That's why I give out the Twitter handles. That's why I give out the email address. That's why I give out the Ingles Market text line 71307. Texter just said, oh, great line. I like this line. Texter. Creating space for spontaneity through structure. Yeah, that's exactly right. I build the foundation, and then I let you guys come in and run rampant to tell me what you want to do.
That's what I always tell people. I like walls because where you know where the walls are, then you can go crazy in between the walls.
I agree. Like, I know we use the wrestling trope a lot on the show, but I consider it like a professional wrestling match. Lonzo and I come in here and we say, you got 15 minutes. Here's the rules. This is how it ends. And then in that 15 minutes, we can do whatever we want to entertain you guys. That's basically what it is.
And where there's a pop, we're going to go.
Yeah. And once we're exactly right. If I come out, it's one of those things I always get mad at wrestlers when they're lazy and they're like in Dallas and they're like, the Cowboys suck. And I'm like, cheap heat, right? But it works. It's been working for 100 years. If we come in and we do something that you guys like and respond to, then that's what we do now. We're going to be on that. Here, you ready for the inside perspective on that? Do you think I give a damn about chili on a hot dog? I don't care. I'm ruining a running joke for the sake of giving you guys some inside baseball here. I don't give a damn about chili on hot dogs. And if I go to a restaurant and I ask for a hot dog and they put chili on it, I don't care. I like chili dogs. That's fine. But
by the way, I do care.
Lonzo cares.
I don't care what he says. If I order a hot dog, it better be plain. Or I'm talking to your manager.
I don't care. I genuinely do not care. I don't care. But when I started with this running joke, you guys lit me up. And it became fun. I mean, I care a little bit. Chili doesn't go in a hot dog. That's a chili dog. I obviously care a little bit. But it's not like something I'm going to be like, stop calling my show. Whatever, it's fine.
Hey, when you get people like Skalski out there agreeing with you got to go with that. Yeah. And he's absolutely right, too.
I got Clemson All-Americans laughing their asses off on the show. I got multiple restaurant owners in Greenville calling and texting into the show to tell me how wrong I am. It's fun. And I will give you this, and then we'll take a break because we got Fanboy Friday coming up. You know what the most important part of the show is for me? Sincerely, the most important part of the show is for me?
Sponsors.
You know what the second most important part of the show is for me? Sincerely, the second most important part of the show is? I want it to be fun. I want it to be fun. We're going to have serious discussion. It's not all sunshine and rainbows every single day. It can't be. But I want it to be fun. As the great Blink 182 said, work sucks. I know. She left me roses by the stairs. Surprises lets me know she cares. You guys have real life going on. This is a break from that. This is supposed to be a break from your real life. And yes, sometimes we're going to have serious conversations, but for the most part, I want this show to be fun. So if I come in here with 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 real serious segments, and then you guys want to spend a segment talking about why chili does or does not go on a hot dog, that's a fun segment, and we're going to do it. Because it's not the end of the world. And also, it got us nominated for Best Sports Talk Show in South Carolina. Back after this with Fanboy Friday on the Rob Brown Show. Rob Lonzo, you. This is ES. Oh, my God. Texter says, I thought a chili dog was just chili on a bun. No. A chili dog is chili on a hot dog.
It's got to have a dog in it. Or
it's just chili. How are we still doing this?
Sit back down. Golf cart.
Sit back down. 2021 golf cart is on sale now. We're doing Get to Know Your Host Friday, and I got a text 15 minutes ago with a question: did you get to play at Links of Tryon, and how did you like it? I did, as a matter of fact. Got a chance to play out there yesterday, and we had a blast, man. We had a blast. It was great. Beautiful course, challenging course. A lot of long holes that you cannot take driver off of the box. A lot of spots that you cannot take driver off the box. It was tough, but absolutely loved it, man. Absolutely loved it. And you can play Links of Tryon and 8 other beautiful courses. I've played Links of Tryon. I played Preserve Verde and Carolina Springs so far, all three on the course. 6 more to go before the end of the year. And you can play them all too for just $99, less than $15 a round, less than $1 a hole, ladies and gentlemen. Why wouldn't you do it? It'd be crazy not to take that deal, wouldn't you? So go to upstategolfcard.com, upstategolfcard.com to get the Upstate Golf Card. Trust me, you will not regret it, man. I've played 3 rounds so far. I got 6 to go. There's nothing better on a Sunday than getting out and hitting the sticks a little bit. So do it. Go to upstategolfcard.com. Take your friends golfing. Have some fun. Trust me, it is a great investment. The 2021 Upstate Golf Card. Do you want to? I'm not alone anymore. Do you want to go to the Palmetto Curling Club Curling Open House on August 31st, which is a Tuesday night? That's family night, so you can't do that one.
Yeah, I can.
You can?
Yeah.
Is it 7 o'clock?
Yeah.
Okay. I am registering 2 guests.
Family night is over, man. They're all
That's
moving.
Right. That's right. That's right.
We're gonna move.
You don't have a family anymore.
Well, yeah, I do. You're mean.
All right. So I'm going to both open.
I would like to go to one of them, yes, because I always wanted to go to check that out. That'd be fun.
Tuesday, August 31st. And also September 14th.
See, the thing is with the bowling, my wife plans on coming and watching.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's a way for her to get out. So we're going there Tuesday night. Which one of us shows up for work on Wednesday?
I'll show up, but I might be in a wheelchair.
Okay. I was thinking crutches, but I just have to be careful with my knee. But I mean, I've been doing activities for a long time with it. If I feel a certain way, then I just have to stop. But who knows? Might not have that problem. But ice is really weird. You don't know which way you're going to go. I want to see what those shoes actually look like and feel like. There's so many things that you see on TV that you really want to see it.
Oh, 1.
No, that's not
2.
what I'm talking about.
Oh.
I'm talking about the commercial.
Oh, gotcha. So it's like they have like a flat grip paddle. I bet you it's only on one because you slide on one and the other one you drag the toe on.
If you have questions about the condition of your roof or possible storm damage, call me and I will personally come out and check your roof and give you an honest assessment and a fair price. Call me today at 864-346-3121. That's 864-346-3121. Find me at RupertPaul.com. That's RupertPaul.com.
Get your football season training camp coverage. Tune in to Training Camp Live every week, live or on demand, for on-the-ground updates on top teams from NFL insiders. Plus, follow your team with any podcasts from a podcast network. Go to your favorite local station, find out who's hot, who's hurt, and who might just put your fantasy team over the top. Football season is almost here. Get your football coverage, plus your favorite local radio stations and podcasts with the Odyssey app. Download today.
Some mayhem like Austin. Up you hung yesterday. Turns out you didn't use enough anchors.
I knew those spots were coming because I talked to you about those spots coming. That's the first time I've heard one. So it just reminds me of who we probably will be getting on the show to interview. Maybe 1, maybe 2.
Has the unique ability to change our perspective, to to challenge us, to work for a better tomorrow. Movement can even bring us together when we're still. Because if we're focused on the next move, we don't have to worry about what's behind us. Goodyear, more driven.
This report is sponsored by Wendy's. Right now at Wendy's, get a Dave single plus another great item for just $1 more. It's Wendy's BOGO $1. Limited time only. Price and participation may vary at U.S. Wendy's. Valid for item of equal or lesser value. Cannot be used in a combo or with other offer.
Is it today though? Is it something completely different?
No.
Today it's not.
Assemble. But you have heard of me. And when you hear the T-Rex BB-8 and the lightsabers, you know it's Fanboy Friday, the segment that Lonzo and I have dedicated to us to talk about the nerd stuff we talk about off the show, on the show. Movies, podcasts, music, video games, wrestling, whatever we want. I am bringing a topic today, Lonzo. I'm very intrigued because there is a social experiment going on this weekend that we just recognized. Free Guy is a movie coming out starring Ryan Reynolds, a bona fide A-lister. Free Guy is available, probably the first big movie of the summer, exclusively in theaters. It will not be on Disney Plus or Paramount Plus or HBO Max or any of the other streaming services that have had the bigger movies, Suicide Squad and Black Widow, available on them. First movie that you are going to get to be able to watch exclusively in theaters. Now, we had a discussion a couple weeks ago because Scarlett Johansson is suing Disney, and I'm assuming probably ending her role as Black Widow.
Her role has been, Disney has ended their relationship with Scarlett Johansson.
Officially?
Yes.
Yeah. And we figured that was coming, right?
Yeah.
So Disney and ScarJo are done. Black Widow is officially done. Which, yeah, I mean, she got her solo movie. She's killed off in the MCU, and it looks like they're moving forward now. So no shock. But the reason she got fired, and you can come down on the other side you want, but basically ScarJo and her attorneys argue that Disney made the arrangement that she would be paid X% of movie profits, but the movies would only be shown in theaters, and she would get X% of the profits from tickets sold to see Black Widow. But they also released it on Disney Plus, and a lot of people, especially those with larger families, would stay home and watch it on Disney Plus, meaning that ScarJo would not get a cut of their money to see that movie. So she sued them, and I'm telling you right now, she's going to win that lawsuit down the road. But she's done as Black Widow. Anyway, one of the questions we had when this lawsuit came in is are we, as a country, are we interested in going back to the theaters? Now that we know, one of the things that was really interesting about the pandemic is so many lessons that we learned that a lot of us thought, but we couldn't really prove it, right? For instance, one of the things that's very interesting is productivity of most businesses either did not drop or went up once they allowed their workers to work from home. They didn't need to be managed in an office. If you let people work from the house, they will work. And many of them will actually work harder and longer when they're at home because they're in a comfortable environment. And we didn't get to learn that until the pandemic forced us all to work from home. And there are a lot of businesses that they're not going to go back to the offices. Why would I pay rent when I can send these people to work from home? And they will do the same, if not a better job from their house than they do when they come into the office and have to answer to a manager, to a micromanager in many cases, right? Well, one of those is, do we want to go back to movie theaters? Will folks go back to watch movies in movie theaters if I can sit on the couch and for $15, $20, $25, $30, HBO Max is what, $15 a month? And I got, what was a Suicide Squad?
Suicide Squad, yeah.
A movie that if I took the girlfriend to see in theaters, we'd have been out of pocket $50 for two people, for two adults. We'd have been
By
out
the
of
way,
pocket $50.
also watched Godzilla vs. Kong on there.
Exactly right.
And the new Matrix, when it comes out, it's going to be on HBO Max. So, I mean, when you're already paying,
there's for two people, there's $140 in movies.
When you're paying for a subscription for something and you can actually watch it on your TV, you're probably going to do that.
Yeah, 100%. Question is, A, do we have any interest in going back to the theaters? And I would say the answer for me is yes. Godzilla Kong, that's a theater movie for me. Two giant monsters beating the crap out of each other in a city, that's an IMAX scene only. Black Widow, I watch it at home. Now, we went to see it in theaters because the girlfriend wanted to, and it's her call on that. But like Suicide Squad, watched it at home. And I don't regret watching it at home. It was good.
Yeah, I watched it at home too, and I don't regret. I have been back to the theater once, and it was one of those cases. It was a movie I wanted to see, and it was only available in theaters. So at least for me, if it's only available in theater, I'm going to go back. So I went to see Snake Eyes, and I will tell you that I think the theater experience to a certain degree is overblown in my memory, to the point where I thought it was something that maybe it's just not anymore. But it also has to do with the movie you're going to see. Now, the next, talking about Free Guy, I definitely want to go see that. I'm going to go see because it's in. But if it wasn't only in theaters, I'd watch it at home. The next big movie, if I recall, coming out that should be a blockbuster and should be a movie you see in theaters is Shang-Chi.
Yep,
and
that's a theater movie.
Which was slated to also be on Disney Plus, but they have removed that. Now it's going to be in theaters only.
You know why?
Because of Scarlett Johansson.
Yep.
So that will be, I think that Free Guy, I think is going to be really good, but I don't know if it's a true test if theaters can come back or not. A movie like Shang-Chi, I think is.
Here's why I think it is. This is like a lot. I know some people that are interested in the Marvel movies, but they're not necessarily going out of their way to go see them in theaters, because if you miss a couple of the movies, you kind of feel like you're out of the loop, right? You got to catch up by the time, blah, 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 blah. Shang-Chi, even though it's probably not going to, I mean, it will have tie-ins to the Marvel universe, but this one kind of feels like the first Marvel standalone movie in a while. I'm sure it will be a standalone that ties back in towards the end, but for now, it's kind of a standalone movie. Free Guy has a little bit of everything. Free Guy has an interesting plot, right? As a video game nerd, it's got a plot for you. I love the premise of an NPC gaining awareness of the fact that he's in a game that's not about him. I'm for it. As a GTA fan, I think it's great, because every time I play GTA, I wonder, like, what is dudes, if these computer guys had minds and they saw the constant chaos that I was wrecking in San Andreas, what would their thoughts be, right? And I love the premise, and I'm sure there's going to be a fun little Ryan Reynolds twist at the end, as he does in all his movies.
Yeah, because when I think of NPCs, I think of two games. I think of a game called Baldur's Gate back in the day, and there was an NPC named Nuber who just constantly came up and bugged you. And he would say, hey, just over and over again. And you were so tempted to kill him. And then there was an NPC in Oblivion. No matter what you did, the guy just showed back up. So it was repetitive in that way. And I always wondered what it would be like to be that NPC.
Yeah.
And now we're going to get to see that in a movie. And I'm really looking forward to that and seeing how they handle it. And let's face it, Ryan Reynolds is pretty funny.
If there's a dude I trust to pull this movie off, it's Ryan Reynolds. It's honestly, if there's a dude I trust to pull this off, it's Ryan Reynolds. Second off, because it's got something for those of us that are dorks, but it's also got stuff for people who maybe aren't video game people, but hey, it's Ryan Reynolds. The guy's a freaking A-lister. He's one of the most but one of the most famous actors in the world. Again, the lady friend, she'll watch anything with Ryan Reynolds in it. So all of a sudden, now I've got a justified cause for not only me to see a fun video game nerd movie, but the girlfriend's interested where she normally wouldn't be, because she's going to get to see Ryan Reynolds be hilarious and be Ryan Reynolds. So this is a movie that is going to test, will we go back to theaters? Because it's not available anywhere else. If you want to see this movie, you have the options we did in the before times. You pay to see in the theater, or you wait 6 months until it comes out and you can get it on Netflix or rent it or whatever you're going to do. Those are the only two options. And we haven't really gotten only that option in a while. And it does look like it might be a big screen movie with the explosions and the gunfights and all that, even though they're going to be done in kind of a lighthearted fashion. I don't know, man. This is going to be an interesting test, though, to see if people are interested in going back to the movies, or if we have entered the post-theater era of entertainment in the United States.
All right. So it came out yesterday. According to Variety, it made $2.2 million on Thursday. I don't know how big that is in comparison to some other movies. It doesn't sound like that's too bad, though.
No, I don't think it. And remember, that's a Thursday night. That's not weekend.
And a lot of people still don't realize that the majority of these movies actually come out on Thursday.
Yeah, most of them do. Most of them do.
But I think most people want to wait till Friday so they don't have to go to work the next day, so they can make an event to go see a movie.
Yeah, and it's late Thursday that they come out. They drop at like 8:30, 9 o'clock on Thursdays most of the time. In fact, if I recall, like it has to be, there's some kind of rule about how, like when you can start it on Thursday to be considered a Friday opening. But like I said, this is an interesting one to me because I think this is genuinely going to be. This is the movie that is going to help us decide, help us figure out, are we as Americans, is the theater a draw still, right? Because here's the thing, and I think Lonzo and I have had this conversation before. To me, the theater is absolutely a draw. The theater is absolutely a draw. However, not when it costs me $60 to take my girlfriend to see a movie. Last time we went to see a movie, we saw Black Widow. And between 2, and I think we saw it at like 3 in the afternoon on a Sunday, right? So a matinee, large popcorn, 2 large Cokes, and I think she got like Sour Patch Kids. It legit was like $53, Lonzo. $53 for us to see a movie that we could have watched at home on Disney Plus. How much does it cost for the premium access?
$29.99.
Yeah, so $30 we could have seen that movie for $20 less. But at the same time, I'll pay I personally will pay the 20 extra bucks to watch that on a big screen. But if you're like Lonzo and you got 19 kids in the house, that's an exaggeration, but you get what I'm saying here. If you're like Lonzo and you got kids and a wife and a big family that wants to go to the movies, Lonzo, if every person in your fam wanted to go see that movie together and you each got like a medium popcorn and a Coke, what are you out? $110?
I think each person probably is like $30 to $35 because if you throw in the ticket and the food and the drink.
So you're looking at $150.
Yeah,
you're looking at $150 to see a movie. Most of us have bigger TVs at home. I got a 60-inch TV sitting in the living room. I can just move my chair closer and pretend it's a movie theater for $150, right? Texture says Dune is a theater movie for sure. 100%. Dune's. I'm excited about Dune. I hope it's good. And it's absolutely a theater movie.
I believe, without looking it up, Dune is also HBO Max.
See, there you go. So that's a movie that we will really get an opportunity to see. Do people prefer home or the theater versus Free Guy, which is theater only, but not as much of a must-see in theaters movie. All right, let's take a break. We'll come back here in just a minute, starting to wrap up the show, wrap up the week. My name is Rob. He's Lonzo. This is ESPN Upstate.
And Dune absolutely is an HBO Max, but it's an HBO Max movie, so are we going to watch it on HBO Max?
Greatest of all time, the GOAT. Most of the time this comes up when speaking about sports, but let's talk about your future wife. She is the GOAT in your eyes, and when it's time to make her your wife, and Skatels, you truly love her, Skatels will be there to guide you through your ring buying journey. Free customization, financing, and a lifetime warranty are all part of the Skatels experience, one you truly will appreciate. Start your engagement ring journey at SkatelsJewelers.com.
Parents, do you want your child's shoes to fit perfectly? You need to get your kids Skechers Stretch Fit shoes because Skechers Stretch Fit shoes are so comfortable and so stretchy, they easily slip on and fit almost like a sock. Your child is constantly moving and constantly growing, so they need a shoe that moves with them. And Skechers Stretch Fit's soft, stretchable material contours to their
My wife says it's over $150. By the way, this just popped up and may have nothing to do with the fact that we were just talking about it. Due to a distribution deal that predates Disney's acquisition of 20th Century Fox, Free Guy will premiere on HBO Max before Disney Plus. This is later, so after the theater run. So it's going to be on HBO Max before Disney.
It's not a Disney movie.
It would,
How would Disney Plus have it at all?
because they own 20th Century Fox now.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
They do.
Which is why everyone's been clamoring, waiting for X-Men to show up because they bought 20th Century Fox.
Good call.
I think what's holding up X-Men is they have no idea who they're going to bring in as Wolverine. I think it really comes down to Wolverine.
Come back, Hugh Jackman.
I think he's getting too old.
I don't know who the next guy is. He was in the Robert Downey Jr. level of the perfect guy for that role.
Yeah, he was.
And I don't know who else could it
To the point of where when they did the Days of Future Past, it was still him.
Yeah.
They changed a ton of other people, but they kept him.
But in fairness, Wolverine's not an aging character,
Right,
Until Logan, which was also a phenomenal movie.
Which I watched once, bought it, and I've never watched it again. Just because I can't. It just the daddy part.
Yeah.
Just that part right there is like, no. Figured he was going to die, but still, spoiler. If you haven't seen it, man, you don't really watch those kind of movies,
you're
do
well
you?
outside the spoiler window for Logan. Speaking of Logan, look what the girlfriend's freaking cat did to me this morning. Speaking of Wolverine,
Cats do that.
why are cats?
I think that's bad. We've had
And her cat's super chill, like he's never like that. And then this morning he was like, I choose violence, and
We've had feral kittens under our house before. That was a wonderful experience. You go into a crawl space with things that want to do this a lot. It's not, it's
So it is official, ladies and gentlemen. August 31st and September 14th, Rob Alonzo are going curling. You can sign up. I'm going to give them a plug. We can give them a plug, right? Should I just do it before we ask? Don't answer that. I'll just do it.
It's an open house on a sporting event.
Yeah. PalmettoCurlingClub.com. PalmettoCurlingClub.com is the website. They are doing a curling open house on August 31st, which is a Tuesday, and then September 14th, which is also a Tuesday. They are doing a curling open house, the Palmetto Curling Club. Yours truly and Lonzo are signed up to go, as are a bunch of other people. We want you to show up. These guys are busting it to like bring this awesome, super fun, cool sport that anybody can do for the most part, down to the south, down to Greenville. And you better bet your bottom dollar, your boy cannot wait. PalmettoCurlingClub.com. I am actually registered to go both days because why not? Why wouldn't I? Come out, hang out, meet the gang that runs it, meet yours truly, watch me fall and bust my ass multiple times, get your laughs in your pictures. I mean, why wouldn't you?
Yeah, let's go as a group. Let's go as an ESPN Upstate group.
Yeah.
So let's all hang together and do this together.
Go
and have fun.
It's going to be a blast, dude. It's going to be a blast. Go to PalmettoCurlingClub.com. Texter says, September 14th is my birthday. Let's curl. Let's go. Birthday curling? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Yeah, come out, please. Sign up. Go to PalmettoCurlingClub.com and you can register for their open houses right there. One is the 31st, one's the 14th. Pick one. I'll be at both. But you pick one. Let's not overload these folks. They're doing this out of the goodness of their own heart. And come curl. Absolutely. It's going to be a blast. Can't wait. Looking forward to it. All right.
I can't believe I actually agreed to go somewhere where it's cold, but that's okay.
Outside, in public, and everything.
We're gonna have fun. I mean, because it's gonna be on ice.
Oh, dude, it's going to be a blast. This is going to be a blast.
Rob and I were talking about this on the stream. I always want, you've seen the shoes they wear, but you want to see up close and feel what those are like to see, because you wonder how they're able to handle this. And what are those sweeper things that look like brooms? Are they actually brooms? What are they called? How heavy are they? What do you have to do to use those things? Those are all things that I've always wanted to know, and now we'll get the chance to do that.
Oh, dude, we're going to have a blast. We're going to learn many, many things about curling. And not only that, but then the Winter Olympics are like a couple of months later. Are you telling me we're not going to be like super prepared for full curling analysis of the greatest Olympic sport of all time?
That is a great point.
Telling you.
Now we're going to be able to go, okay, he threw the stone or what? See, I'm going to keep saying whatever it's called because I don't know the accurate term, but I know I'm going to learn it at the open house, and then I'll be able to, you will hear the transformation on the air. Suddenly we are experts at curling.
Can't wait. Also, coming up tomorrow, Zoe and I will be in Columbia for the South Carolina Broadcasters Association's Star Awards, where we are up and nominated for Best Sports Talk Show in the state of South Carolina. One of two things is going to happen. Either we're going to win it, and you will see me walking around downtown Greenville for about 3 weeks carrying that trophy, or we will not win it, in which case this will be the last time you hear us reference it.
Well, I believe that our building is up for 9 awards, so it's pretty cool to go down there as a group with our peers from other stations in the building, and all of us come home with the gold.
I mean, I hope so. And
but I kind of want. I mean, if other people have to, I mean, I'll feel bad for them and everything. But I still want us to be.
If we only win one award, I know which one I want it to be.
It should be this one.
I'm a selfish jerk. If we only get one, I want it to be us. I'm just letting you all know. I'm just letting you all be warned that if Zoe and I win this thing, I will be carrying that bad boy, demanding that you acknowledge us for weeks. But if we do not win it, then this will be the last time you ever hear us talk about it.
The other thing is we get to spend quality time with the powers that be. And who doesn't want to do that? Who doesn't want to go hang with their bosses in a public setting?
I'm nervous about that because if we lose, I am going to be in a crap mood for the rest of that event.
I will tell you, I have received second places like once or twice. And when that happens, trying to not look disappointed,
oh no,
it's nearly impossible.
No, it will very much be what it is. There will be no hiding it. All right. Twitter trending topics to wrap up the week when we come back on the Rob Brown Show at ESPN Upstate.
inflation, out of control spending. Can you trust the government with your hard-earned money? Now is the time to take back control and put your money in gold and silver IRAs with Red Rock Secure. With gas, milk, and car prices skyrocketing, now is a great time to buy gold or silver. Don't wait. Go to redrocksecured.com/radio or call one of our experts at 844-934-2008. Get any and all of your precious metal questions answered. That's 844-934.
So I think we escaped the ask the host time without too much pain.
Yeah. It's usually way worse than that in the times I've done it, which is why I only do it once a year.
You weren't surrounded by the good people of the upstate. That's why. Which I had another fan encounter yesterday in public,
Did you?
but I'll tell you about it later. Didn't know ESPN made light blue shirts. That's weird.
Yeah, but I've only ever seen play-by-play guys wearing them.
Who has the cooler room there? That looks like some sort of major trophy on the one guy's.
That's the World Series trophy.
Yeah.
But I don't know why he would have one, right? Like, I don't think every player gets a replica trophy. Like, unless he customized, like he ordered his own.
Well,
okay, here we go. Here's your answer. How about this? Courtesy of Reddit. World Series, does each player get a replica trophy? And the answer is players may get a personalized trophy. So you can actually get. So that's not a full-size trophy. You can get a customized. I guess half scale.
I mean, that's cool. If you played in one, wouldn't you want one?
Absolutely. I'd absolutely get one.
Where is these games being played at?
All over the country. These are regional games.
Oh, okay. I remember going to Dyersburg for my daughter to play in the Little League Softball World Series. That was a wild experience. I drove all the way across Tennessee. Man, that state is a lot longer than I thought it was. I remember it was in a car that the air conditioning didn't work really well either.
When Cap said Avengers Assemble, did you stand up in the movie theater?
Okay, so go ahead and ask the question on the air because I think that's a weird question.
So when Endgame ended and all the Avengers were reassembled and Captain America said Avengers Assemble, did you stand up in the theater? Like, did you stand up for that moment?
No, I don't believe anyone stood up. There was a huge round of applause, which I get, but if you are applauding and it's lengthy, we just missed a part of the movie. I was emotionally in there. I was like, yeah, that type of thing.
Yeah.
But I still was silent to the point where I don't want to miss the next, because that was a great line. But what if there was another great line that your applause just caused me to miss?
I got into a conversation with a buddy of mine on Facebook about it because he reposted the clip and he said, what a great moment. And I said, I was like, yeah, dude, there's only been 2, maybe 3 moments in my life at a movie theater where I've like stood up in a movie theater because of the emotion connected. And that was one. Like, and here's the thing, in my theater, the majority of people in there stood up and were like, like it got loud in that theater.
I wonder if that's a regional thing. Where were you at?
I was in Destin.
Okay.
But like he's in Alabama and he said his theater stood up and clapped too. So there are some people that did. I don't know. It's just weird. It's a social experiment, right? Mob mentality experiment. Like if you do it and a couple of other people do it and then it's going to catch on. But if nobody stands up, then nobody else, even if they want to, isn't going to. I don't know. I was just.
So when you, if anybody else does. Yeah, I saw that. But there's a story behind that. So don't.
100% there's a story behind it.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. That may be my Twitter profile.
Yeah, but
picture.
it's kind of a sad story. So.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Got it. Got it.
Need to be careful with that. All right, let's get to something really quick that's trending. Friday the 13th is trending.
It is Friday the 13th today. Shocking. I actually didn't realize that until we were literally going on air. Somebody put up a video, this really fun, I guess TikTok, of a guy in a Jason mask walking on a treadmill at Planet Fitness and just doing the Jason walk and look. And I'm like, why? It's Friday the 13th.
By the way, I can do Jason pretty well. Got some Jason stuff at home. The reason why it's trending, though, there is a lake in Minnesota. Just happens to be Crystal Lake. And if you are diving in Minnesota, there is a statue of
legit.
And it's pretty lifelike, and I think it's pretty awesome.
Super legit. I liked it. Yeah, happy Friday the 13th. To terrify you further, Diesel takes over now. Get it? Scary. That's it.
He's not scary. He's genteel.
He is. On Monday, either we will have a trophy for the best sports talk radio show in Carolina, or you'll literally never hear us mention it again. One or the other. Diesel and Mark Ryder up next for Offsides. We'll see you back here on Monday to try just a little bit harder on the Rob Brown Show and ESPN Upstate. Don't drink and drive. I'll punch you in the face. Later.